Oh my god. You know what? It looks like I'm in PJs. I don't know if I can show y'all the whole fit. It looks like I'm in PJs and it's like noon. Currently 12:20 when I'm filming this. Ooh, look at the fit. Ooh, so fit. Like, I'm tired of... Yeah, I'm not gonna complete that sentence. And yes, my hair looks like this. It is half brown, half pink. You're gonna have to cope with it. One of my nails fell off. I bought like fake nails to cover up my short nails because like 4 of them broke. Technically 6, but I didn't feel like doing my thumbs. And one of them fell off, and then the other ones just feel really weird because I'm not used to having fake nails. I also have to pay $3,000, but you know what? We're not here to talk about capitalism. I've already talked about the issues with capitalism before. If you guys want a full in-depth video on the issues with capitalism, we can talk about that. But anyways, we are not here for capitalism. We are not here for capitalism. Ooh. Shout out to the person who gave me this. They already know who they are. It's my partner. What's in here, you ask? Orange juice. Stop asking questions. This is a Christmas gift, and I love it. Anyways, we are not here for that. We are here to unravel madness. We are here to go crazy, go stupid, right? So, I know that the drama with this has died down a bit. We're talking about Creepshow. If you didn't read the title, we're talking about Creepshow, aka Shannon. I know the hype around this situation already died down the hot minute ago. I just turned my TV off. Anyways, I know the hype within this situation has already died down. However, I just wanted to give my 2 cents, maybe talk about everything that has transpired for any of those who don't know. Because I feel like out of my viewers, I'm the only one here who knows this whole situation front and back. It's up for my partner. But anyways, it's a doozy. It's a doozy. So I just wanted to get on here and talk about it. I would have talked about it sooner, but I was waiting for Emily's video to show up. And then after that, I got into a depressive episode. So we're here now. I'm fine. I'm doing much better. Thank you for asking. I'm sure everyone was just sitting in their seats like, oh my God, Jess, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. But anyways, on December 31st, Creepshow, aka Shannon, posted her response video to Emily's original video filled with her allegations of stalking and harassment and stuff like that. Shannon posted her response video like 7 months after the fact on New Year's Eve. Babe, we don't got time for you. If you want a more in-depth look at that, I'll have my iCard, I'll have the iCard linked to my original video on this situation back when everything was going on, above. So you can just click that, leave this video, and go watch that video so that you can get a more in-depth look at everything that transpired before that. I am still going to give you a bit of a rundown though, so don't worry about it. This video is also like broken up into chapters, so you can just like skip around to whatever chapter you want to. And one of those chapters will be like a little like refresher on what happened, because it's been months. Anyways, so I started writing this script the day of Shannon's video dropping. Also, first of all, her video dropped on like the 31st, and I also had to work that night, so I was just suffering the whole day because this video is 2 hours and 32 minutes long.
This is so crazy. I don't even dress. My hair looks crazy. This is great. I would just like to mention that my December 31st, 2021 was very much just encapsulating 2020 and 2021 for me, because I spent the whole of my day, the entirety of my day, watching Shannon's video, trying to understand what the hell was going on. And then at like 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., I had to go work retail. So, I think that really sets the tone for everything that we're about to go through, and it just really shows that we are living in the roaring 20s, and I hate it here. Capitalism sucks. Thank you all for coming.
I wish I was kidding. I have watched this video front and back like 5 times. The first time was because I was in shock that this happened, and the other times were because I was bored and needed something to listen to. So I was like, I might as well, you know, see if like my neurons connect a little bit more to like give me a little bit more perspective and be like, Shannon, that ain't making a lot of sense to me. Shannon. It's not mathing in my head the way you want it to math in my head. So maybe we should figure out these points a little bit more, right? I will have a re-upload to that video linked down below. Maybe I'll also have the original, but you know, I prefer you guys watch the re-upload so you guys don't have to give Shannon the views, because fuck giving Shannon the views. Anyways, as of me writing this script, when I was writing it on December 31st, 2021, the video had 10,000 views, and this was like hours after. And I found it, I think like an hour or two, after she had posted it. 317 likes. Dislikes were disabled at first, but I did get like a Chrome extension so that I can see dislikes. And 1,500 comments on it, and all of them were just bashing her. I'm also gonna add like a little like picture here on the screen so you guys can see the ones from when I am editing this video. However, the ones from when I am recording this video, the video is at 489,518 views, 2,300 likes, and 70k dislikes, with God knows how many comments. Let me scroll down a little bit. 24,000 comments. Again, all of them are just bashing her. So, yeah. I did, like I said, watch the video all the way through a bunch of times. But to make my script for today, because I do have a script, we came prepared, I did use Shannon's final draft script, which I will also have linked down below if you don't want to give her the view with that and you just don't want to watch her video because it's just like a mess. It's literally just a gray screen the whole time, and it's like a mess. She just pops up like random screenshots on the screen that are also not even on the doc, right? But I'll also have the doc link down below if you want to. Let's get into the content warnings before I get back into the intro. There will be talks of child pornography, rape, stalking, harassment, drug usage, slurs against every single minority community to ever exist. So if any of that is going to be disturbing to you, please click off of this video. Don't even watch the first video on this because it has the same content warnings. Just go find another video that'll make you a little bit, that'll brighten your day. That'll brighten your day. Shannon should not be the person that's re-traumatizing you. And I know that because, as I will get into it, Shannon did some things that I don't approve of. So I won't be talking in like excruciating detail about everything. I'm just going to give my opinions where I see fit on the sections. If anything, maybe I'll give like a brief description of what goes on in each section. But again, that's already intertwined with my opinion. So, but also on the 1st of December, so the day after, I had downloaded the extension to see dislikes, and it had 13,000 dislikes at that time. Now, as we know, it has 70,000, and it'll most likely increase by the time that I post this video, by the time I even get that screenshot.
No, you can't. This pencil is in my hand because I'm writing things down. I'm helping you. But I would also like to add a little like note here in the video as well, that the ratios for these videos may be a little off, with like Shannon's only like barely breaking 500,000 because a lot of people just don't want to give Shannon the views. I did because I was just befuddled. But normally, as we all know, I don't like to give shitty people views because in turn it just gives them money in AdSense and revenue and stuff like that. So I just really don't like doing that in general, but I was just so befuddled and I had to see it with my own eyes, the gall that Shannon has. So that's why I did that, but a lot of people just didn't watch her video, so a lot of people didn't even click into it, so a lot of people didn't even get to dislike it, because you actually have to click into a video to dislike it. If you didn't know that, you can't just like telepathically dislike a video. So I just wanted to add that in there because if more people are willing to just watch her video instead of like a re-upload or something like that, I'm pretty sure there would be even more dislikes than we are currently seeing. But yeah, as of me filming this like editing clip, Emily's video has like over 1 million views, with mostly likes, because more people are willing to watch Emily's video on Emily's channel than people are willing to watch Shannon's video on Shannon's channel. You get me? So the ratios are most likely weird because of that, because people just don't want to support Shannon and her channel, and there may even be more dislikes than we know because people just don't want to click into her video even. So I just wanted to add that in there because I thought that was a really good point to bring up. But back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Right. So let me give you a little bit of a background before we jump into everything, because I'm pretty sure you guys have like forgotten, right? Creepshow Art, aka Shannon, was an art commentary YouTuber who back in June was exposed on by local admins. I forgot the English language. She was exposed by local admins for basically like doxing her sibling, and from there her whole post history was uploaded, which included like 300 posts over the span of 3 years. I think it was like 292 posts in the span of those 3 years. From like October 2018 or something like that to like 2021. So she was exposed for doxing her sibling, talking shit about herself on the forum, talking good about herself on the forum, promoting herself on the forum, and saying slurs against minorities on the forum, specifically like the T slur against trans people, the F slur against trans men, the R slur, using autistic as a slur, remember that? And she was also exposed for talking shit about her friends, like Ready to Glare, D'Angelo Wallace, what's the dude's name that doesn't show his face? He makes music. I completely spaced out on his name. I'm so sorry. I completely spaced out on his name. But she played Among Us with him. Corpse Husband. I knew it started with a C. Corpse Husband. She was talking shit about Corpse Husband on there as well. Talking about people's skin, like saying that Edwin's generation was gay and that he has like a overseas girlfriend, so that he has to pretend to be straight for like a month. Yeah, some really wacky shit was going on. Right, so after that was exposed, she basically said in a community post that some stalker named Amy, remember that, had spoofed her IP, and basically for 3 years on multiple devices in every single location that Shannon was known to be in, right? Because in that time, I remember, like, as a viewer, Shannon had also talked about how she had moved from, like, Portland, Oregon to Nevada. So in all that time, Miss Amy was out here doing the CIA, was out here pretending to be, like, the CIA or something and, like, spoofing IPs really well, right? And during this time, apparently, allegedly, Amy had also hacked Shannon's YouTube or like Gmail account, which the Gmail account is also how apparently she got the IPs, but whatever. She was also outed by her cookies, which is like her browser history. So I don't know how Amy could have done that one, but you know, Amy works for the FBI, I guess. So anyways, Amy had also apparently like allegedly hacked Shannon's like YouTube account, but had only changed like the profile picture and the banner to like a glitch picture and had deleted all her community posts. They have since been reinstated, and like I don't know when that happened. I don't know when she like reinstated her like community posts. I remember I was going back to the community post where she was talking about how her IPs are spoofed, and I was like, oh my god, every single community post that she has ever like made is here now. And I was like, did I lose my mind? Am I like pretending that she erased all? No, she Shannon, you are not gonna gaslight me. You are not gonna gaslight me. No, she had like eliminated all of her community posts for fun, for like shits and giggles. I have no fucking clue. Shannon, seek help. Leave Anthony and seek help. Anyways, let's get into Shannon's intro, because I need peace. Right, first let me take a sip because I've been talking for like 15 minutes. Bad idea because I brushed my teeth before this. Said Eden before I made this video, and I didn't want anyone to be like, oh my god, you have food in your teeth. No, I don't. No, I don't. Brush your teeth. Drink water. Anyways, Shannon starts off this video and her script by saying, if you are seeing this video, it means one of two things has happened. Either one, my lawyers negotiated with Emily Artful's lawyers and we reached a private settlement which resulted in some retraction, or two, I took Emily to court for defamation and came out the other side. Since I had started working on this video the day of, I didn't know if anything had like actually happened or not. So, since I had started working on this script like really early on, I hadn't seen anything from Emily come out just yet. But when the video came out and she did go on Twitter and like release a thread, I'll probably post the screenshots up on screen so you can pause and read those. But I was on the cautious side. I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't like shit on her for this. But you know what? I am gonna shit on her for this, right? Because first of all, spoiler alert for just this whole 2-hour long, it's almost 3-hour long diatribe. She proves the complete opposite of this, okay? She doesn't prove that she didn't stalk Emily Artful. She proves the exact opposite, and then, like, at the end of it, she just, like, tells everyone to fuck off. Like, there you go. That's the whole video. She proves the complete opposite of what she's trying to prove, and she just tells everyone to just fuck off, okay? Also, I think I should add this for full transparency. I was once a Creepshow art, like, fan. I subscribed to her. I watched all her videos. You know, some of them did rub me, like, the wrong way, especially when I was, like, watching videos after the fact, like, knowing that she didn't really do her research that well. So I was like, But I still watched because I, like, still liked her content. I don't anymore. I didn't even watch the last video that she posted, which was the Pride video, right? Which we're gonna get into. Because I don't know, I find it kind of funny that she posted that video to be like, see guys, I'm not transphobic because Pride was because of trans people. Apparently some people also called her out on it for spreading misinformation in that video, which, like, congrats, Shannon. But she's also transphobic in this here video that she posted in 2021. She is transphobic by misgendering and dead naming people. So that's great. Love that for us, Shannon. Zooey mama, you're really proving these claims false. My ears are ringing. Do I blame Shannon? No. Legally, I can't. But, since watching Swoop's videos, which, again, I'll have them linked down below, and other videos, especially Emily's video on this situation, which I will also have linked down below, I can definitely say that Shannon is lying. Shannon, first 2 minutes, and Shannon's already hitting us with a lie. You can't make this shit up. I wish I could. I wish I could. Her document literally starts that way, right? Shannon is lying. Like, I didn't want to say this earlier when I was talking about Shannon's intro, because I don't live in her, like, bedroom walls or something like that, right? Shannon's lying, because Emily never retracted anything, which, you know, when I was seeing that statement, I was like, I don't remember Emily, like, saying she was retracting anything, but maybe she'll come out with that later or something. Emily has never taken her videos down, no matter how much Shannon's description box wants you to think, because she fucked up those links, right? Allegedly. Emily has never taken her videos down. Emily has never taken any of her statements down. If anything, she has just, like, updated them and corrected her beliefs on stuff. Because, again, she was on drugs at that point. So her memory may be a little bit foggy on, like, the details. But that doesn't mean that she's lying about something. It just means her memory was a little bit foggy because she was on drugs. Right? There's also been, like, no litigation at all. And I know this because defamation cases take a real long time to prove, because it's real hard to prove defamation and that someone was lying, especially when someone like Emily states it to be true and has at least circumstantial evidence to prove as such. So yeah, it's only been like half a year. There's no way that Shannon could have come out of any side, which I'm assuming by what she means by the other side is that she won a defamation case against Emily Artful, which, again, I'm pretty sure her videos would have been taken down, or, like, we would have known about a legal case between the two, because this shit popped off when it happened. Emily's original video has like 4 million views on it, and her current video has 1 million views on it. So a lot of people are interested in this story, and I think we would have known what happened, if there was any litigation whatsoever. I know Emily D. Baker or like other YouTube lawyers would have been on that shit, okay? And again, it doesn't take like half a year to prove a defamation case. It takes years. Like, years plural. There is an S at the end of year because it is plural. Because there are multiples. Right? And now that I say that out loud, Shannon, how are you going to prove a defamation case if you ask Emily to take her videos down? Because there has to be evidence. That's the evidence that there's defamation, is her videos. So she can't take them down, because if not, she's just removing evidence that you would need in your court case to say, look, judge, look, honor, she's lying in that video. If she took it down, there's no proof of that video. So it doesn't make...
One of you are like, well, what do you mean by no proof? Listen, to be able to have proof of defamation, listen, first of all, I'm not a lawyer. I just exist, and I watch true crime videos, okay? And I've watched videos on this situation because it's popped off so much that there are videos, plural, on this situation. That, and I once, for a very brief time, was into the whole Without a Crystal Ball Tati situation, where Without a Crystal Ball or Katie Joy had taken her videos down, and the court was like, that's a big no-no. So I'm just applying all that knowledge onto here, because the thing is, in my tiny little brain, how I think the court system works with all the stuff that I have seen, is that if Emily were to take that video down, there would be little proof that she had, started this whole defamation thing, and gotten people to defame Shannon and Anthony, because that video wouldn't be live on her channel anymore. Even if there are reposts of it, that video wouldn't be live on her channel anymore, and the 4 million views would be completely gone. So then I'm pretty sure Emily's lawyer could be like, well, the video isn't on her channel anymore, so she's not spreading defamation anymore, right? That's what I'm assuming. If you're a lawyer, you know about law, correct me in the comments, I don't care. But that's what I'm putting my 2 neurons up in here to do. That and the second video that Emily made, if they're both taken down, there wouldn't be really any proof of her spreading defamation, even though those videos have thousands of views on them, thousands of millions, because, like, it's not live on the channel anymore. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I felt like I needed to clarify that before one of you decides to get smart on me. I don't know. I'm kind of bored right now. Kind of vibing. But, yeah, I just wanted to make that clear.
Any damn sense, and we're just at the intro. Buckle up, buttercup, because we're about to get in section 1, the relationship. So Shannon starts this section by saying that in one of Emily's old storytime videos, she talks about only having 2 terrible partners in her life with only 7 relationships of substance. And this is where we get into today's theme of okay, and Shannon, who gives a singular fuck. Not I, and not anyone watching this damn video. Because most people who watch this video have a brain, and people know that some people just don't want to talk about severely negative experiences online that hurt them and harmed them. Or maybe she didn't realize how serious the situation was, especially when we're assuming that they were still in communication with one another. It's safe to say that Emily just hadn't recognized the seriousness of the situation that she was in with Anthony, at the time of recording that video, or she just knew about it but didn't feel like talking about it. And I can relate to that because I have been in a similar situation where I was once taken advantage of by a friend. And I never realized how severe that friend took advantage of me until years down the line, where I feel brave enough to say that. So, congrats, Shannon. You're stupid. Allegedly. But anyways, moving on. I think it was either this video or another video that Shannon points out, either in this video or in another video, that Emily was dating a 13-year-old at 17, but Emily has since come out and stated that she just reversed the ages because of her trauma and stuff like that. So, because she felt really bad for being the 13-year-old in that situation with the 17-year-old or 16-year-old, right? So she reversed the ages so that she can put herself down, right? It's better explained in Emily's video. So again, I'll have that link down below so that you guys can go watch that. Shannon also states that Emily wasn't addicted to drugs because online she was really against like drug usage. And I really hate to say this, Shannon, but people can be against drug usage online and still use drugs. People who take drugs can realize that they're doing something negative but just don't know how to stop. Listen, I overshare a lot on the internet. My friends can tell you that much. I overshare a lot, especially in like my stories, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm like gonna come out here and like tell every single little detail about my life. That doesn't mean that Emily is gonna come out and like say like, oh yeah, I'm doing drugs right now, guys. Like, also, again, I have done negative things, right, to myself. I'm not going to get into what that was. I'm just going to leave it at that. But that doesn't mean that, like, I was going to go out, like, what are you saying, Shannon? Are you saying that she should have promoted drug usage on her account so you could be like, oh yeah, she was definitely using drugs? Because, like, I wasn't going to go out here and, like, promote what I was doing to the people who were following me. Because I was adamantly against it, even though I was doing it. And I still am adamantly against it. And I've been, like, almost, like, 5 years, like, clean from that, you know? So, like, just because someone is doing something bad doesn't mean that they can't recognize that what they're doing is bad and toxic. And, like, to, like, not tell people to do that. Like, yeah. I also find it really disgusting that Shannon is saying, like, oh, Emily couldn't have been using drugs because Anthony has a zero tolerance policy. Which Emily in her video does state that that is true. Anthony does have a zero tolerance policy whatsoever for, like, drug usage and all that. And she did post, like, a screenshot of Anthony saying that he doesn't even drink. So, that's corroborated by all three of them. That doesn't mean jack shit, because as Emily states, she would hide her usage of drugs from him, which people know how to do, even though... And after that, when he was made aware of the fact that she was using, because she had a breakdown in front of him, or she went through, like, psychosis, like a drug-induced psychosis, he still stayed with her. And he still, like, talked to her, even sexually. Which we're going to get into the section about Emily's video, right? So, Shannon, I'm not really understanding what your point is. Someone can have a zero tolerance policy and still be friends with people who are addicts and not know. Just because you and Anthony have a complicated history with drugs, whether it's because Anthony was once an addict himself, or because, Shannon, your parents met in AA and you have had family members who were in AA, it doesn't mean that, like, you can belittle someone for their addiction because you didn't see it. You were blindsided by it. That's sad on that. And her mentioning this in the first part is just going to continue out throughout the whole video so that she can deny the fact that Emily was raped, meanwhile on drugs by Anthony, which we are going to get into that.
This is also a point brought up by Hannah Needs to Yell. I'm going to talk about her multiple times throughout this video. Her videos will be linked down below on this situation as well. But Emily's story is that she was intoxicated at the time that the rape occurred. However, even if that wasn't her story, you can still get raped meanwhile you're sober. It's not an end-all be-all of like, well, she wasn't on drugs at the time, so she wasn't raped. She could still not consent meanwhile sober to that. And just because they had flirty exchanges before they had met up and they had agreed to meet up doesn't mean that Emily, even if she was sober, couldn't have just changed her mind and been like, hey, you know what, I just want to chill, let's just like put on a movie or something instead, right? Although the story isn't that she was sober at that time, she was not sober at the time, but Anthony was in a clear state of mind, so it is in fact rape nonetheless. But even if that wasn't the case, you can still get raped meanwhile sober. So, Shannon, your point is moot on both sides. Sorry about that one. So sorry to destroy one of your points, homegirl, but it's the way the world works. Consent can be taken and removed. I mean, well, yeah, consent can be taken away at any time, no matter what. Whether it's before, during, or after, consent can be removed. That's why it's important to make sure that you have consent at all times. Consent is important. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. And consent cannot be given meanwhile the other party is clearly intoxicated.
But moving on though, quite literally, according to Shannon, Emily and Anthony lived together in Anthony's grandfather's home. However, she was kicked out because of erratic behavior. Shannon's proof for this is just really old posts from Emily's like accounts and stuff. But the thing is, as Emily states, that was for truancy. That was for not going to school enough. And her being able to get like legally in trouble for that and not showing up on college transcripts. It wasn't because she was like punching bitches left and right. It was for truancy. Right? Shannon states she has eyewitnesses to Emily's erratic behavior. But at the same time, none of these statements are shown. They're not talked about in the video. They're not in the Google Doc. Emily has reached out to one of these people that Shannon had listed in her like original document that was leaked. And they were like, what are you talking about, Emily? No one reached out to me to talk to me about these things. So Shannon's a liar. Oh my God, crazy. Apparently Anthony broke up with Emily twice. She wouldn't take no for an answer. So Brandon, as Emily calls him in the video, I am going to keep his name private for his sake, even though Shannon outs him. Anyways, got involved in Emily's video according to Shannon's Google Doc. She claims that Brandon told her she's a worthless whore, that he'd curb stomp her, and that he'd curb stomp. I hate English. And that he'd curb stomp her. Okay, that was a fun sentence. Those were fun words to say. Shannon says this isn't the case. I have no clue what the case is. I'm not a lawyer, thank God. Emily also states in her video that Anthony and this guy would talk about shooting up their old high school and their obsession with the Joker. Shannon says that Brandon has no weapons besides the one he made for cosplays, which are useless to actually fight with. Thanks, Shannon, for telling me that prop weapons are useless. Me and my 4 years in theater would have never known that, actually. Thank you. And that Brandon has autism. Zooey Mama, thanks for that, Shannon. This isn't relevant information whatsoever. Brandon having autism literally means nothing to the conversation. I get it could mean that, because again, people with autism don't understand social cues whatsoever. But like, you ever just sit there and want to cry?
From my stupidity. First of all, I do want to correct that statement that I just said that autistic people don't understand social cues whatsoever. Autism is on a spectrum, so they may not their understanding of social cues is limited. They may understand some, they may not understand any. It really just depends on the person. But let me spare you my little diatribe for a minute. Let me spare you the massive soapbox to bring you a much smaller, more condensed soapbox. Just because Brandon may not understand some social cues doesn't mean that what he said is okay, that what he allegedly said is okay to Emily, threatening her, making jokes about school shootings, because a lot of people with autism can understand that those are not cool things to say and do. And people with autism don't hide behind their diagnosis of autism. I will have like a comment screenshot on screen in just a moment from one of Hannah's videos of someone who does have autism who talks about this in their comment. But just because people with autism don't understand social cues and they have autism doesn't mean that they don't understand how their actions can be harmful, or don't understand how these jokes are not okay. But yeah.
And the fact that also Shannon is using Brandon's diagnosis to be like, well, Emily is ableist because he has autism. Emily didn't know he had autism. Emily didn't know that. He didn't even know that. Brandon didn't even know, because he had also posted his own video, which I'm not going to link down below because there's no point in seeing it. He just regurgitates everything that Shannon states. But in his video, Brandon states like, oh, how could you have been threatened by me? I was just a 90-pound, little, skinny person with untreated autism, which, autism can't be treated, bestie. I'm so sorry to tell you that. But again, like Emily states in her video, undiagnosed, I'm pretty sure, are the words that he was looking for. So he was undiagnosed. So not even he knew that he had autism. So how is Emily going to know he had autism? I'm giving silence so that someone could explain that to me. I'm giving a moment of silence so that someone can connect the dots for me, because the DVD logo in my head is frying. Okay, the 2000s DVD logo in my head that is constantly bouncing around up in there is overheating. Okay, like my banner says, my one brain cell is overheating because I'm not understanding what's going on. He did again make a video. It's 10 minutes. I'm not gonna have a link down below to continue protecting his identity. I will have Hannah Needs to Yell's video linked down below, where she talks about how he's probably being manipulated by Shannon and Anthony to believe their lies. Emily talks a bit more about this in her video, so I'll just continue the discussion there. I also want to add this comment from Hannah's video so you can hear an autistic person's perspective on Shannon talking about Brandon. As an autistic human, her general tone with mentioning his autism was just infantilizing too. Just because someone is autistic doesn't mean that they can't understand how their actions affect others, choose to do bad things, or even be criticized for their actions. We're humans too, just don't scapegoat us, stereotype us, or blame us for our blind spots, and we're cool. So, I just wanted to say that. I think that's where I'm going to leave the Brandon section, because again, I don't know this man. I don't know any of these people actually, but I don't know this man. And it kind of makes me upset to think about the fact that he is possibly being manipulated by both Shannon and Anthony, which upsets me. So we're going to leave that there. Shannon says that Anthony's step-grandma was never close with Emily and that the step-grandma never received a message, which corroborates Emily's story, because Emily never said that she was close with the step-grandma. She just said that they were cool, and that they weren't friends on Facebook, so that's probably why she never saw that message, because it just went into, like, her requested messages. Like how on Instagram, if you're not following someone, it's in their requested messages. So that could just be why. Let me get another drink because I think my face hurts from talking so much. I was chatting with my partner while I was watching this video. Take a shot every single time I say my partner. So far I said it like 3 times. Take a shot of water. Take a shot of water. Agua. Agua. When Shannon was talking about, like, the whole, like, grandma thing, step-grandma thing, and she posted a screenshot of someone under the contact name of Grandpa. Bestie. Bestie. In the screenshot that I'll have over me right now, or I'll probably play the clip as well, Shannon's talking to someone about this tweet that Emily made stating that she was extending her Cyber Monday sale to the rest of the week because she had, like, some personal things go wrong. Shannon and this person are giggling, saying that Emily has no case against Shannon and Anthony. And again, this is under the contact name of Grandpa. So I just want to giggle a little bit because this is literally fan behavior. This is fan behavior. You're taking an irrelevant tweet where Emily is saying that she had some, like, life stuff go on in November of 2021, months after the situation blew up and blew over. Right? You're taking a tweet of her saying that, sending it to this random person, being like, she has no case against us, ha ha ha, she's so stupid, tee hee 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 hee. Babe, what? Pardon? Pardon? Like, I'm just gonna, but in gathering a screenshot for this moment so that we could giggle, I decided to rewatch the clip to see if I was, like, misremembering this moment, which I'm not. But also, nowhere in the tweets that Shannon posts of Emily does Emily say that she was close with Anthony's step-grandma. She says that they got along with her and that she was strict. Just like Emily says in her video, her getting along with someone isn't the same as being close. Because I get along with many people, many of my university Instagram mutuals. I get along with them. They're lovely. And I also get along with the people in, like, my, like, class friend group little circle thing. That doesn't mean we're all close and buddy-buddy and we know everything about each other. Right? If they were close, they probably would have followed each other on Facebook, that she supposedly didn't have according to Shannon, but also had because she received a message from Emily. right? Because in Shannon's video, she was like, oh, she never had a Facebook because, like, she was a lawyer or something, and, like, it would open her up to harassment. The lighting is going in and out, and I don't want to talk about it because this is a low-budget set. This is my bedroom. You can literally see my toilet back there. We don't have a budget. The budget is the sun. So you're going to have to deal with that. So sorry. Moving on, though. Right? Moving on, though. I don't understand. I'm going to play the clip. But also, assuming that the grandpa contact is Anthony's grandpa, just because Anthony's grandpa doesn't like Emily doesn't mean that Emily's step-grandma doesn't like her either. But I'm just going to play the clip for you right now so you guys can see that.
Twitter after the fact that she was, quote, close to Anthony's step-grandma and had bonded with her during the relationship. This is completely untrue, and his step-grandmother has never met Emily, seeing as his grandfather was dating another woman at the time Emily and Anthony were together. It is impossible for any things that she has said in this Twitter feed to have happened. Anthony's step-grandmother also didn't use Facebook until very recently, seeing as she is a former sitting judge, and it would have opened her up to threats and harassing communication. Emily has never been close to any member of Anthony's family. Emily and them were not friendly, and Anthony's family did not and do not like Emily. They encouraged Anthony to break up with her, and they stand behind us 100%. Emily also stated that she sent Anthony's step-grandmother a Facebook message, allegedly saying that she believed Anthony was harassing her at one point. We reached out to confirm this, and Anthony's step-grandmother says no such message was ever received. It should also be noted that at that time, Emily was well aware that Anthony had separated from that side of the family, and they were not.
Anyways, part 2, 2012, heroin. Like someone pointed out in her comments, it is absolutely appalling that she labeled this section heroin. Also, if you see me looking off, it's because I have my script right here. Ooh, ooh, look at that bougie laptop. Ooh. Especially since in the previous section, she tried to erase someone else's addiction and experience with addiction. This one, she basically tries to create like some sort of timeline for when Emily was on and off drugs, specifically heroin. I don't want to delve in deeper into this section because I don't feel like invalidating Emily's story. You can't tell someone what they went through and tell them the timeline of their shit, Shannon. And just to be on Emily's side a little bit more, I don't even remember my own clean date. I remember it was October of 2017 or September of 2017 because Hurricane Irma had passed, right? And some shit had happened in my personal life, and I decided to get clean after that. But that's my sober birthday, I guess, my clean date, September 2017. I didn't even have a specific date. So, but again, relapses happen. People relapse on certain drugs, especially when they've been abusing drugs since they were a child, Shannon. Relapses happen. Shit happens. I'm just lucky that I was one of the few people who, when they got clean, they haven't relapsed since. But some people do, and they have multiple sober birthdays. And the best that we can do is just try to support those people and get them to have one final sober birthday. Never relapse after that date ever again. That's the best we can do. And after my little editor's note, I'm gonna try to leave it there. But again, this is a point that Shannon tries to bring up multiple times to try and discredit Emily's story, which is what we get into in my little editor's note section. I literally added this on at work, like after we had closed and stuff, and I was just like organizing my store and stuff for the next day. But I had this thought and I really had to write it down because I just find it fucking disgusting that Shannon tried to piece a timeline of when Emily was on and off of heroin to try and prove that Anthony never raped her when none of us were there and none of us have a right to speculate on something that we weren't there to witness. Or speculate someone's sobriety based off of posts from 2011 or 2012 from accounts that don't even exist anymore. Grow the fuck up, Shannon. Seriously. Because I know there is a video of you floating around from Le Copy Art where basically you're saying we can't use old posts and posts from children against them, but yet this is exactly what you're fucking doing, Shannon. It's pathetic. Anyways, part 3, online harassment, or as I like to call it, slamming my head into my laptop. This is gonna be a shorter section for me because I really, truly don't give a fucking shit. This is again about like the whole song debacle that Emily made with Anthony. I couldn't give less of a fuck if I wanted to. The main point of this is that Emily had received harassment online before Anthony and outside of Anthony and Shannon. No one thought that Emily had received harassment single-handedly from Shannon and Anthony. I think we were all under the assumption that the worst shit that happened to Emily online was because of Shannon and Anthony, not that everything was because of Shannon and Anthony. Which is something that Shannon misquotes so that she could set up a little paper tiger so that she can knock it down. Okay? Like, Shannon. Emily never said that in her original video. See, she said that she had received more online harassment after working with Anthony on his music than she had received before. She never said that this was the first time she had received harassment. She just said that this was an abundance in harassment, okay? Anyways, on to part 4. Honestly, I love this section. I have a love-hate relationship with this section because it melts my brain cells right enough that, like, you're lucky I'm going to spare you from this. You're lucky I'm going to spare you from this. Anyways, Shannon states that Emily is confusing the Emily Sugar Fruit channel that she had with Emily Camming. She is not. She is not. Shannon states that there's no way she and Anthony got her fired and she became homeless because in some Instagram picture from the time, there were some pink walls, which was the color of Emily's bedroom walls in her dad's house. But Shannon's not a stalker, guys. She just knows the color of Emily's walls from her dad's home. She just knows that. I'm assuming that it's because Anthony had been into her father's home before, so he knew the color of her walls. Do y'all know the color of my bedroom walls? They were light pink, right? Technically, they're supposed to be purple, but they showed pink, so we're just gonna leave it at that, right? I'm assuming that's what happened. Regardless, it's still really creepy that they know that they remember the color of her walls, that Anthony remembers the color of her walls, and then Shannon found the color of her walls. Like, it's weird, it's wacky, and I hate it here, actually, believe it or not. Shannon tries to pinpoint who was the ex forcing Emily to do cam work. Little does Shannon know, it could be an ex that Emily never shared about online. If you guys didn't know this, I have a whole series on my channel. I'll have an iCard linked above where I talk about my exes. And there are some people I just never talked about. There are some videos where you're just there sitting at me doing my makeup because I felt uncomfortable to talk about this person. Or there are some people I just got from the series. Like that one dude that I was talking about earlier. Y'all remember him? I mean, we never officially dated, but that dude kind of like messed me up. And I was like, I'm not going to talk about this. Right? But even then, right, as I'm pretty sure I'm going to get into it in the camming section, but I'll say it here as well, and then I'll just repeat it there. Emily never said that she got into camming because of an abusive ex. It was because of an abusive business partner. It wasn't because of an abusive relationship partner. It was because of an abusive business partner. So get your facts straight, Shannon. Booyah. But my favorite part, if you guys want to watch the re-uploaded version of this to like fact check me or whatever, you 100% can. I'm gonna give you the timestamps. Just open a separate tab so that you can go watch this part. I was chatting with my partner, right? We were in our like university center, and I wanted to show him this part because it's so funny. So the section starts at 35 minutes and 59 seconds, and it ends at 46 minutes with 17 seconds. I did this twice, once by myself in my home, and then the other time with my partner. So it is literally just 10 minutes of random men who made videos at this time bashing Emily for making a One Piece review naked in her tub. Which, fun fact, this is also that Emily stated that Shannon would probably be bringing up at the end of her original video. Emily was like, Shannon, if you want to bring up the bathtub video, go for it. Shannon brings up the bathtub video. What does that say about our society? But it's literally just 10 minutes of these wacky ass men calling Emily names because she made a bathtub review. I also find it funny that in one of these videos, one of the dudes literally states that Emily was on heroin, and in text, Shannon is like, that's impossible. No, it's not, Shannon. You are using these videos to prove to us what was going on at the time, and what was going on at the time was also that Emily was on heroin. So either this isn't what was going on at the time, or like, I don't know. I'm trying not, I feel like that sounds like an all or nothing thing, like, but like, Shannon, please. But it's literally just 10 full minutes of men being misogynistic online. And they also refer to women as females. So I just want us to giggle a little bit at that, you know, like, hee hee, females. Because sometimes you just have to laugh at misogyny, you know? But, like, also, as well, Shannon is wacky. I had thought of a point in my head, and it, like, left me. So, maybe I'll be able to find it. Maybe it'll come back to me. I'm still trying to remember my point, but I can't. It's not clicking back in here. Right. Oh, now I remember it. Because Emily was naked in this video, right? Or she was either half naked or fully naked. Which goes against YouTube terms of service. Right? Nudity goes against YouTube terms of service. But in the camming section or in another section, right? We're just going to talk about it here. In one of the sections, Shannon states that like, oh, I couldn't possibly have child pornography of Emily on PhotoBucket, or like naked pictures of Emily on PhotoBucket can't exist because it goes against PhotoBucket's terms of service to post nudes and lewds on there. But the funny, quirky thing is, Shannon, it also goes against YouTube terms of service to post nude or explicit content. But yet, this video was posted to YouTube. There is also naked yoga on YouTube. If you try hard enough, you can find nudity on platforms that say that they are against nudity on them. Shannon, I don't know if you knew that one. I'm assuming you did, because I remember during the Onision shit, you got mad that YouTube took down one of your videos because one of the thumbnails was sexually explicit, or like I forgot, implicit, maybe? I don't know. She got mad at that, and then she pointed out this Onision thumbnail where it looked like a coochie. Okay, it looked like a fucking coochie. And I just sat there befuddled. It looked like a coochie, and Shannon was like, how is this allowed online but my thumbnail isn't? So you know that nudity is against YouTube terms of service, but you didn't think about how Emily had posted a nude video on YouTube, the same platform, with the terms of service against nudity? And you think Photobucket isn't the exact same shit where people can just find some sneaky little way to post their nudes? Anyways, on to camming. She basically just tries to disprove Emily's story on camming. I had rewatched Emily's video per Hannah Needs to Yell recommendation to watch Shannon's video and then watch Emily's original video. Again, Emily just states that this was an abusive business partner, not an abusive ex-partner. So, but I'll have that video of Hannah's linked down below where she compares the two videos. Part 6, again, I don't care. It's basically just Shannon being like, Emily wasn't a model and blah, blah, blah. No one gives a singular fuck. I remember that some people say, like, oh, there are some points here because, like, Emily does post her location, but in Emily's newest video, she says, like, oh, that wasn't my actual location. But even then, she was just trying to grow her business. And these were also public locations. So, if anything, she could have been posting those locations, so if anything happened to her, people would know where her last location was. And even then, these weren't public locations. These were public locations, so anyone could have just seen her. Which is why she posted them, so that her fans could see her, but whatever. Part 7, the Snapchats. I have been talking to you guys for almost an hour, and we are only in part 7 out of 19. I think this is a great time to take an intermission. Let me add it into my script. Wow, you guys can see the behind the scenes. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know how to type. Ooh, crazy. I'm just adding that in there so I know where to add a timestamp for that. Let's take an intermission. Let's take a second because my jaw hurts from talking so much. Let's take a second, breathe, relax, just for a minute, just, take a sip of a drink, relax from this bullshit. How has your day been so far? Are you doing okay? Have you eaten? Have you had a drink of water? Have you kissed your pets? Have you cuddled with them? Are you cuddling with them now? I hope you are. I hope you're doing okay mentally. I hope that Shannon's video isn't affecting you too much. It affected me a lot because of her bullshit claims that were not only trying to disprove Emily's story, but simultaneously was trying to disprove people with similar stories as Emily. And I know that I am one of those people, so if you need to talk to someone, please do so. There are people out there who can help you and who love you, and I hope that this situation isn't affecting you mentally, and I hope you are able to get through whatever you are going through, because you are loved and you are here on this planet for a reason. You're amazing, you're stellar, you're a star, you're chef's kiss, honestly. You are bestie, you are bae, you are a girl boss, and I say the word girl neutrally because I am she, they, and I call myself a girl boss, even though I barely identify as girl. So I hope you find happiness and peace within you, my love. And I'm so glad we had this intermission. If you want, during this intermission, you can just tell me what your plans are for the day, you know? Tell me how you're going through life. I love you. Let's get back to this, though, unfortunately. Part 7. The Snapchats and the boogeyman. Because get it? Snapchat's little thing is a ghost. Hee 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 hee. I'm so funny. Shannon presents her evidence in this section really weird. However, Shannon brought up a Reddit post that could explain the weird Snapchats as like a social experiment from this ARG account. I mean, not ARG account, from this like ARG company or something. But Shannon is really hell-bent on saying that this happened in 2016, but all the evidence points to this happening in 2017. Emily states that she started collecting evidence around 2017. The Reddit post says that this happened in 2017. Shannon acknowledges this and says so it just didn't happen because she's so hell-bent on saying this happened in 2016 when evidence points to this happening in 2017. So she's like, it didn't happen. But yet she's trying really hard. She dedicated a whole section to this. So she's trying real hard to disprove something that she's saying didn't happen. But I was going to give Shannon the benefit of the doubt on the Snapchats by being like, okay, yeah, maybe it was this random defunct ARG company. But Hannah enlightened me a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that explanation just wasn't sitting right with me. So Hannah enlightened me. Because in her comparison video, she says that dialect is very similar to Anthony's, which I completely agree with. That, and there are a lot of details to Emily's videos and her channel and her content that no indie brand would like go to the people who they are targeting with this ad, right? No indie brand would go to their account and their social medias to collect details on them to then go and, you know, use that to promote their game, right? No ARG people would do that because that costs a lot of money. So sorry. So it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Right? But anyways, part 8, Anthony's tweets. Shannon keeps the section short and sweet, so I'm going to keep this section short and sweet. Basically, Anthony was just lightly trolling. Shannon does say this in her original document. She says lightly trolling his ex-girlfriend on Twitter by begging her why he was blocked and saying she's a meanie, hashtag Black Lives Matter, because that's so haha funny. That's it. That's the tweet, guys. Anyways.
We're rocking the PR because we're about to get petty. First of all, in my script, that's like all I had for this section. It was literally just that sentence because I really couldn't care less. But then after that, I got to thinking about like why Shannon brought this up. And Shannon brought this up because Emily had brought it up in her original video that she had posted a tweet being like, oh, I went viral. Never mind, y'all. I went mini viral because one of her videos had gotten like 200,000 views, right? And then this like random account just like went into her DMs and was like, that's not viral. And then meanwhile that was going on in the background, you also have Anthony like, you know, like tweeting at her like beware everyone, she's a meanie, hashtag Black Lives Matter, you know, because that's real funny. However, he was like, oh, 200,000 isn't viral. And when Emily confronted him in DMs, Emily was like, hey, yo, home slice, what's all this about? You know, he doubled down, and then he brought up sock puppet accounts, which, like, the funny, quirky thing is, Anthony, those were never brought up. He was like, if I'm gonna talk shit, it's gonna have my profile picture next to it. But, like, Emily was never like, why are you talking shit? With sock accounts, she was like, can you leave me alone, broski? And he was like, if I'm gonna talk shit, it's gonna have my face next to it. And this was also brought up by Shannon, which is why she put this section in the video to be like, he was just slightly trolling, and if he's gonna say anything rude, it's gonna have his face and icon it's gonna have his, like, face next to it, because, you know, big boy Anthony is willing to, you know, take the heat for anything that he himself says. Even though no one brought up that they had sock accounts at that time. But I just wanted to bring that up because I think they're stupid, you know, just allegedly, Petty University. But yeah, that's the tweet. Anthony was just slightly trolling because that makes a lot of sense.
On to part 9, the rewired soul. And I want to know if they still give out lobotomies, because I need one. Shannon basically brings up how the rewired soul exists and how she and others got harassed online for speaking out about him. So the account, That Boy XD, that was like, you're a bad mommy, druggy bitch, could have been Chris or like one of his fans or something like that. Because like the profile picture, I think, was like a drawing of Chris. I don't know. I don't think it's like his like profile picture anywhere. But also the rewired soul's name is Chris. But just the profile picture on this Twitter account that was harassing Emily and calling her like a druggy bitch and that she's a bad mommy was like a drawing of the rewired soul. So Shannon is basically just using that to say like, oh, it must have been him or one of his fans. Done deal. But like Emily states in her original video, there were like posts found on Shannon's local account that she never talks about, that describe Emily being a bad mother and have similar sentiments to what That Boy XD's account was saying. So I'm gonna have to go with Emily on this one. Anyways, part 10, my problem with a big YouTuber, and my problem with how fried my mind is. A little background on this section. Emily made a video on how a major YouTuber did something to her. People thought it was Shannon, and it wasn't. Shannon and Emily came out and said that it wasn't about her. Shannon had posted on her stories like, hey guys, it isn't me, but I also have a stalker, so like, tee-hee, haha, funny, quirky. And in the DMs, because Emily was added to this like story, in the DMs, Emily just basically confronts Shannon and is like, hey broski, are you my stalker? Shannon just deflects and denies. Mostly deflects, and she also blames Brandon for stalking Emily, because Emily was like, oh, I thought it could be Brandon, and Shannon was like, oh yeah, no, 100% it's Brandon. He's also like stalked me and done like a bunch of like crazy quirky things, right?
We're in Petty University. Okay, I'm bringing the pencil back. I'm writing notes because this right here, this statement right here is quirky and crazy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because first Shannon's stalker was Amy, but then, like, publicly it's Amy, but then in the DMs it's Brandon. When she can pin this on Brandon, her stalker's Brandon. But then in the public, when the public doesn't know who Brandon is, it's apparently this Amy person, right? So I'm a little confused, Shannon. Maybe it's me, maybe it's Maybelline. But how do you have two stalkers? and one of them you never talked about publicly. Like, I would like to sit here and give the benefit of the doubt to Shannon and be like, well, you know, maybe some people just have two completely unrelated stalkers, and she may feel more comfortable sharing the Amy story than the Brandon story because Brandon is someone close to her husband. So you have that, like, personal conflict there. Meanwhile, Amy isn't really personally close to anyone in her life. But again, I'm just a little confused. So when we can blame Brandon, we do. And then when we can blame Amy, we do. I don't really like that, Shannon. But I just wanted to point that out there as well in case you didn't catch it. Because I didn't want this point to go over anyone's heads.
But this section is basically just Shannon being mad that Emily didn't feel comfortable showing certain parts of these DMs to the public, parts that Shannon has stated she wasn't super public with. So Shannon in the DMs was like, I'm not uber public with that. So Emily just blurted out, even though these DM screenshots, well, not DM screen, I think the screenshots are also from 2018. There are some that were like newer. But the DMs occurred in like 2018. So even though they were like a bit out of date, Emily, still out of respect, just blurred that out. Because if she didn't, Shannon could have just been like, why didn't you blur out that private information that I told you was private? And Shannon was like going off on how like, oh, Emily like blurred out a Mitch Hedberg quote of mine. But Emily literally just blurted it out because she thought it like related to the situation. So she just blurted it out so people couldn't like connect two and two together and figure out what the like first blurred out part was. Boo fucking who, Shannon. She was just trying to be a decent person. Not like you would know anything about like not doxing people. Anyways, part 11. Amy. This is what butters my biscuits. This is what butters my biscuits. This is what gets my tip wet. Shannon shows some emails from 2005, 2006 to prove that Amy exists. These emails are literally just two teenage girls, two quirked up white boys with a little bit of swagger, emailing back and forth about their personal lives. I would also like to note that I have no clue how our favorite internet stalker, sleuther, has received from an email account from 2005, but not her high school email account. Whether it was personal or her school's email account, how do you not have access to that, bestie? But whatever. Something I'd also like to showcase is that Amy is supposed to be an alias, right? But at least two of these emails are signed Amy. These emails from 17 years ago prove nothing as they are harassing in nature. And there's no recent evidence of Amy harassing her. This also doesn't prove that Amy spoofed Shannon's IP on Malcom, something Shannon never addresses. And this just shows that Shannon had a pen pal in middle school. But something I'd also like to know, and I feel like my voice is really creepy for this section, but I'm a quirked up white boy with a little bit of swagger. Something I'd also like to know is the fact that Shannon states that she was also harassed by Amy on various social media accounts. At one point on Tumblr. This is from Shannon's stalker video, by the way. Right? That's just, she was harassed on multiple platforms, and that Amy had actually confessed to being her stalker, and I want to know where that proof is, because I know Shannon states that she had deleted a lot of stuff, in terms of the harassment, because people delete stuff when they get harassed. Completely understand. It's happened to me 3 times. However, I just want to understand. You had absolutely no proof. I didn't hit you to get screenshots of these things. I didn't even hit you to get like a screenshot of Amy confessing to being your stalker, so you could be like, hey, broskies, look, she confessed to being my stalker, broskies. Just look at that. Never happened. Anyways. Oh yeah, I get into this a little bit more, but I just forgot I did that in my script. Also, Shannon states Amy confessed her actions. Those receipts are never shown. They don't exist. I have a hard time believing that Shannon wouldn't screenshot when that happened. Or if she and Amy were close now, why not ask her to write a statement where she corroborates the story and states she stalked you for X amount of years? Which is another thing that Shannon states in her original My Stalker Story video, is that she and Amy were cool now, and that they would email back and forth, that Amy has a beautiful daughter, stuff like that, you know, blah, 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 cool things, cool beans. Are you telling me that at no point you couldn't ask Amy, like, hey, people don't believe my story, why can you like make like a statement or something, so that I can show to people to be like, hey guys, this is Amy, she signed the email Amy so that we can continue protecting her identity, and this is her statement that she has been stalking me for X amount of times, everything she did, blah blah blah. And if she would come clean about harassing and stalking to you, why would she put in the work to spoof your IP for 3 years and make you look bad on an online forum that rarely anyone visits? Are you telling me she confessed to befriend you to then grab the location of all your devices and browser history cookies to spoof your IP, hack your account, talk shit, but also sing you praises because she's your bestie now too, and dox your sibling to ruin your career? Shannon, you're losing me. And I think I just pulled a Beetlejuice and said her name 3 times, and I don't know if she's gonna come out of my pink walls soon, and Shannon, please. That was a joke. As this comment I snatched from a YouTube video says, also, I thought in a video she said she deleted all of the emails she had from Amy. But yeah, she still has some of the emails from Amy from their AOL account, right? Part 12, Emily's question, and mine too. Shannon is basically saying that she didn't make a video on Emily before because she didn't know all this information about her before now. Shannon, I am unfortunately not an idiot. I am so sorry. Stupidity is not in me. This brain functions. She mentions the Brita Filter Twitter account, not by name of course, but with context clues. I can tell it was the Brita Filter account. I worded my whole sentence. See, I spoke that out loud really stupidly. She basically just used like hints from the Brita Filter account to make her argument. She never named the Brita Filter account because she never talks about the Brita Filter account in this video, but stuff that she talks about is stuff that the Brita Filter account used. The one that accused their 15-year-old brother of harassing Emily for 5 years. So since he was 10, he'd be on that harassing game. The FBI, listen. The people that Shannon is mentioning, the FBI and CIA need to find them and hire them. Like, Amy be out here spoofing IPs for 3 years straight, and this little 10-year-old be like stalking bitches. The CIA and the FBI need to find these people. Come on now. Emily, in her second video, on this showed more evidence that the people behind this account could have been Anthony and Shannon, because she talks about how in one of those messages, in the message from the Brittle Filter account, they talk about this like grainy video of her singing, which only 2 people have access to, Emily and Anthony, from a link she sent to his Facebook account. And this video has only been watched twice, and those 2 times have been through Facebook. Because this is an unlisted video, you can only view it through a link, which means that Anthony, and if Anthony is the only person to have had that link, you get it. It's also funny because the account mentions how they have a list of aliases of Emily, which, you know who also has Emily's aliases online? Part 0 of Shannon's fucking document. She also has a list of Emily's aliases, which in Emily's video, she was like, how the fuck did you get this alias? Like the Emily Dilemma video, alias, or whatever it was, with like dilemma spelled wrong. She was like, how did you find this account, which was my account, that I can't even find on multiple different browsers? So, but Emily states in her video that the Snacky Packy account, which I know I didn't talk about, I believe it's somewhere here. I'll just talk about it in this section. This video is a mess, but so is Shannon's. You didn't come here for quality, did you? Didn't think so. In one of Shannon's sections, or I think it's section 15, part 15, where Shannon talks about this, where basically there was this account on 9gag called Snacky Packy, that basically just was fat phobic against other women, using details that Emily had stated on Facebook. And Shannon, through the similar verbiage as well, was trying to link this account to Emily. But at the time, Emily had gone and made a 9gag account called Ranting and Raven, or something like that, where she was like, this random 9gag account is impersonating me using details from my Facebook, right? But Shannon is trying to state that this account belongs to Emily, but yet this account is never listed in part 0 list of Emily's aliases in Shannon's Google Doc. So, alrighty, Chihuahua in frame. Chihuahua in frame. So anyways, part 13, which is titled 2014. In the section, Shannon states that Emily is the one who hates her because of a review she left on Emily's then boyfriend's job's Facebook account. Anthony's the one who tells her this, not Emily directly, so he could just be fabricating it. Emily also states as such in her video while talking with the boyfriend at the time, job person, Bob. This is Bob. This is also the person that Shannon tried to say that got Emily into camming, when he seems like a sweet, lovely fella. Part 14, her history of false claims. I don't want to get too deep into this section because it's literally just receipts from accounts that Emily had. Oh, bless you. She's licking her ass. It's literally just receipts that of accounts that Emily had when she was like 13, 14, so like from 2005, 2006, from like old DeviantArt accounts. Again, look up the art. Shows a clip of Shannon being hypocritical and how we shouldn't judge teens for being teens or use that against them when they're adults. The link to that video is down below, and Emily also uses this clip in her video. Part 15, more random lies. This is pretty much part 2 of part 6. No one cares. This is again where she talks about the Snacky Packy 9gag account, which could be an impersonator, could be not. Micah talks more about this in her video, link down below to that. Part 16, Jem Campbell. Shannon got exposed on Locale because she doxed her sibling. now they're making their siblings' name public information, and it made things public that the public didn't need to know about. Like the university that their sibling went to, and stuff that occurred during that time, and personal family issues. She also misgenders her sibling who goes by they, them. So transphobia. Love that. Part 17, Loki Coulter, more misgendering. Nothing Shannon loves more than proving right the thoughts of the public. I don't feel comfortable diving into this section because, again, this is just like part 16. I feel like it should have been private. If these situations occurred the way that Shannon said so, if there is some middle ground where Shannon is right in some of these cases, I do feel bad that Shannon went through this, and you know, I'm empathetic to that. Also, in his comparison video, she brings up that the section is titled after Loki's dead name, so just a little more transphobia. Shannon dead names and misgenders Loki throughout this whole section, so that's great. So much for that pride video, bestie. Final statement. Shannon basically just ends the video again by telling everyone to fuck off. Literally, no one asked for this, so you don't need to tell us to fuck off. We kind of already did months ago. You just ruined your public image further with this one. She goes off on Tipster for doing the thing she wanted him to, which is to not support her through this. Kind of quirky of you. He was willing to support her if she had any evidence to disprove everyone's claims, and she just told him to fuck off. So he's just doing his best, Shannon. She continues shitting on Tipster and people willing to support her, and then ends the video. Anyways, on to Emily's statement. We're almost done. No, we're not. We are not almost done. Emily posted her response video on February 8th, 2022. Again, I'll have that link down below. I'm gonna go over the more important details. I'm going to go over the more important points because this video is already too long, and I feel like you should much rather just watch Emily's video if you want to get the full scope of things. Emily talks about how the legal letter she received from Shannon. Remember how in Shannon's video she was like, we talked to Emily's lawyers, they didn't talk to jack shit anyone, they just sent Emily a cease and desist letter. That just basically tried to intimidate Emily into deleting anything that she had said. Emily talked with a family friend of hers who is in law, and they were like, I mean, we could just literally tell this person to kick rocks. So Emily was like, fine, I'll do that. That's fine by me. Right? But basically, this company allows for people who are paying to write the letter, which makes sense because there is absolutely no legal jargon in this whatsoever. They call Anthony Anthony instead of Mr. Parker, which is his last name. This is public information. I am not doxing anyone. Because in a legal paper, they would call him Mr. Parker. And they use like words that Shannon used, right? No actual lawyer would use the client's first name, opting for their last name and Miss, Mr., Mrs., or Mix, you know, like the things typically go before that to make it sound more formal. Emily talks about the medication she was prescribed and how they really didn't help her in her teen years. She specifically goes into Abilify and how it had an FDA warning that could lead to toxic behaviors, addictions, all sorts of addictions, and yeah, not the best for a teen who was also, for some reason I put undiagnosed in this document, but I meant misdiagnosed. She was misdiagnosed with bipolar at the age of 9. So she was prescribed Abilify and then lithium, right? She also talks about how she abused her prescription meds as a kid, not doing hardcore drugs like heroin at this age. Emily pieces together the night she was assaulted by Anthony a little bit more due to Shannon's video, which is the one good thing that came out of this video, is that a survivor finally got to understand to the full extent of what happened to them. But that's also debatable if it's good or not, because I don't know how fun and fresh it is to remember the details on how someone abused you and took advantage of you. But I'm glad Emily got that shred of clarity for herself. As Emily states, she still has to live with the knowledge of that night, which isn't easy whatsoever. She also acknowledges her faults of tearing down other women and her fatphobic remarks. She once again clarifies that she would reverse the roles of people in her story times as a way to belittle herself, also just how toxic they were. She also brings Bob in to corroborate her stories, such as getting fired from the optical shop due to an explicit video being sent to them, her homelessness and her addiction, while also clearing his name, that he was the one who forced Emily into cam work. And we are officially a Bob stan page. On this page, we stan Bob. Bob, 10 out of 10. Bob is great. She brings up how Shannon had really fucked over Skittles juice and oh hi, and another artist called M by Emily. We're gonna get into Skittles juice in a minute. Let's just get into M first. M was a fan of Shannon's who sent her $400 for a shout out and speed paint of one of her characters from a passion project they had been working on for a while and had cost them $15,000 of their life savings. Shannon didn't do the speed paint but gave M the shout out in a video. When asked about the speed paint, Shannon said she couldn't at the moment, but will closer to the project's release date. This never happened, and M was still sending Shannon money on lives over it. Woo, Shannon. Not the vibe. Not the vibe. But anyways, that's the general gist of what happens in Emily's video. Again, if you want to, get a fuller experience of said video, you can go watch it. It's linked down below. As of me writing this section on the 10th, the ratios were ratioing. Emily's video again was posted 2 days before this, so on February 8th, and it already had like over 400,000 views with 31,000 likes and 254 dislikes. And Shannon's video still had over 400,000 views, 2.1 likes, and 64 dislikes. I'll have those screenshots up above on the screen, and I'll also have the current ones. So currently, Emily's video has 1.1 million views, 60k likes, and 681 dislikes. And Shannon's video I had already talked about earlier, so I'll just have the editing screenshot on screen. Right?
I had a guy be a dick at a bar with this premise. I made him feel so embarrassed when I told him I wasn't wearing any makeup.
Fun vibes. But anyways, let's get into this leaked original file. Then we'll get into my final thoughts, and then we are done with this video and I can move on with my life, because I've been talking for over 2 hours. I started this video at 12:20 p.m. It's now 2:02. I am tired and I also have schoolwork to do. But anyways, Shannon's original script was leaked by Nicholas DiOrio. We do not stand on this page. We do not stand Nicholas DeOrio. Something she mentions in this thing is that she had hired a PI. But some of the screenshots are like really old. Like from December 2012. The comments state that they were from 8 years ago. Like one of the posters from December 2012. Comments were from 8 years ago. So the earliest that they could have been was like in 2020. Latest was November 2021. Right? Or like, I don't even remember like the exact date, but like you understand my point, right? In Truth Sleuth's video, she points out that the DeviantArt pages were archived in 2013 and 2015 respectively, before the URLs had changed in 2018. My question is, why would Shannon hire a PI all those years ago to archive and screenshot these things before Emily or even the low-cost stuff had come out, especially seeing as the final draft was created in August? How would the PI have archived links from Emily's old accounts that had no followers? They had barely any engagement. I think like 5 upvotes or something like that, whatever it is on DeviantArt. So mostly though, what I'm going to focus on are the final thoughts section and the Amy section, because it's the craziest parts. The PI stuff is just something that's just rattling in my head because I really don't understand it. Let's start with Amy, if I could find her. Amy, part 9 in the original file is Amy. It's a pretty long one. It's severely long. I had talked about this earlier. I think what I'm gonna do is just, because I had parts of this video pre-filmed, so I'm just gonna play that for you back to when I had brown and red hair. So yeah, this is the life I'm leading. But anyways, Nicholas DeOrio, we don't stand him in this household. He basically leaked what is supposedly Shannon's original script for her video, and this damn thing is 112 pages. Shannon, what in the actual fuck are we doing? Shannon. See, I would also like to mention that Shannon talks a lot about the fact that people can't do their own research and just scroll through Emily's Instagram page, which I have done. It took me less than 1 minute. So in theory, this video should have been less than 5 minutes. You know, the whole disclaimer at the beginning of like, my lawyers and I reviewed this or whatever, and we took Emily to court, and it ended in like some retraction on her end, or I came out the other side. You know what, I'll fucking read it to you guys, because I'm pretty sure that after this whole thing you guys have forgotten that intro, because I have watched this damn thing like 47 times. I feel like that's an exaggeration, but at the same time it probably isn't, because I have lost my marbles, and I want to watch this video over and over again to see if I can like understand it, see what the hell is going on in this world. But in the beginning, right, of her final draft and of the video, Shannon states, if you are seeing this video, it means one of two things has happened. Either, 1, my lawyers negotiated with Emily Artful's lawyers and we reached a private settlement which resulted in some retraction. Emily has said that this is false. And we can see that this is false because neither one of her 2 videos on Shannon have been taken down. And she has not stated publicly that she takes anything back. Or 2, I took Emily to court for defamation and came out the other side, which I am assuming means that Shannon won a court case of defamation. I don't know how to look into legal things online. I know that court records are public. Like, a lot of court records are public. I believe, especially things like this. However, I don't know how to look that up. I'm so sorry that I'm not a lawyer, guys. You're gonna have to forgive me for that. You're gonna have to forgive me for that. Do I write my notes apology now? Do I write my notes apology now or later for not being a lawyer? I'm an art major. I'm sorry. I can never do the law thing. I barely know how to read. But another thing is too is that definitely see. You think I could be a lawyer like this? Hell no. Would be kind of quirky though. But anyways, defamation cases take like a really long time, and this situation started June of 2021. So I don't know how in the fuck in like a month, because this final draft was created August 6th of 2021. I don't know how in the fuck some lawyers got together to have this whole defamation case and you came out the other side in like a month. In literally a month or two. I don't know how months work anymore. We've been in a pandemic for 3 fucking years. You think I understand how time works at this point? I almost cried today because it was 12 p.m. and I still hadn't eaten breakfast, okay? This is where I am in my life. Okay? With terrible lighting and a whole thing over there of stuffies. This is the point we've reached. This is the point I have reached. But at least my bed is made. Yo. Anyways, moving on. This is why I should continue scripting my videos. So, in the time that it took for Emily to make her 2 videos, and for Shannon to make this video, or well, this thing, to start this thing, right? There was a whole defamation court case that no one knew anything about. And Shannon allegedly came out the other side in situation too. Okay, Shannon. Okay. I plead the fifth, and if any one of you bitches wants to say that I do have a caffeine addiction, I'm taking you to court for defamation. I think I'm funny, and I think that's the real problem in today's society. But anyways, before I read all of this to you guys, there are some things in this statement that I want to talk about, which is the fact that in allegedly Shannon's original document, she states that she hired a PI, which makes absolutely no fucking mathematical sense to me. Because some of the screenshots were taken in like 2020. Because in like some of the posts, they're from December 2012, like some of Emily's Facebook posts. And then the comments state that they're from 8 years ago. Right? I remember one is like from December 12th, 2020. I mean, one of Emily's posts was from December 12th of 2012, right? So the latest Shannon could have taken that screenshot for the comments to still read 8 years is literally December 11th, 2021. Right? Yeah. But that's not all, besties. That's not. You thought that was all? For me to be like, hey, Shannon, the math isn't mathing the way you want it to math. And that's real quirky, Shannon, because in my first year of college, I took an Algebra 1 course. Well, not Algebra 1. I took Algebra for college students. And I got a fucking D on that shit. So, Shannon, come on. Plus, we don't know how to do math. I am every single living, breathing stereotype of everything that I represent. But also in truth, speaking is hard. In Truth Sleuth's video, that's a tongue twister, say that 5 times fast. They point out that the URLs from Shannon's thing or well, the URLs that were archived for Shannon's video from DeviantArt were the old DeviantArt ones. And some of these archives were made in like 2013 to 2015, respectively. I'll have Truth Swiss video linked down below, but why would a PI have archived any of that? And even if we want to say that it wasn't the PI who archived it, they were just able to find it, who archived that? Because these are accounts that were had been defunct for like a decade now. Because these are accounts from like 2005, right? These accounts were from literally when I was still shitting in diapers. And I've been nearly 19 at this point. So that just tells you the progression of time. But not only that, they had like no views on them or anything. They had like at most like 200 views and like 5 comments. So it wasn't like anyone was interacting with them, especially not in like 2013 to 2015 when they were archived. Granted, there had been like other archives from like 2006 and 2007, which I could just say were like Emily or something like that. And she just decided to archive these accounts or something. But like 2013 to 2015, who archived that? Probably the only person with a list of all of Emily's aliases. Because I don't see why a PI would have archived any of that if we're going to blame the PI on this, if a PI even exists. I don't see why we're going to talk about a PI archiving any of this, because why would Shannon hire a PI in 2013 to 2015 to archive any of these accounts when literally no one knew who she was on the internet, because she started her account in like 2016, I believe. So she wasn't catching any flack from the internet whatsoever. So I'm not really understanding that at all, Shannon. You're going to have to describe the math on that one. But anyways, I want to get to my 2 favorite parts of this whole, like, 4th manifesto that Shannon has created. You know, obviously the first one is the video. Second one is, like, the description. Video / like, the final doc, because that's her script for the video. Her description box, which is another quirky little manifesto. Her comment, which is yet another quirky little manifesto. And this fucking thing. So let's talk about it, okay? I'm gonna put my glasses on, because eye strain. I don't want to deal with her. But we're gonna do chronological order, I guess. We're gonna talk about part 9 in this section, which is Amy. And the final part, which isn't numbered, but it's called whatever. You know, I realized I talk really fast. Oops. Anyways, so part 9, Amy. Take a little sip, hopefully of water. But you can drink whatever you please. I'm not your mom. Nor do I want to be. I already mothered a chihuahua and all those damn stuffies over there that do absolutely nothing. Oh, and of course my rock collection. I need to film an update on that because I have since bought more crystals. If you want to see an update on my crystal collection, just, you know, like, let me know. Something. I don't know. Anyways, part 9, Amy. This part is going to be brief. No, it's not. I'm kidding. But Amy is not a reference to Emily. Amy is the name I gave to the girl who used to harass me online, whose real name is Stephanie. So let me get this straight. You wanted to protect her identity because she has a child now. And now you're like, actually, guys, her real name is Stephanie. You know what? Let me just give y'all her social security number real quick. Who I originally met on stardoll.com. I love how she even, like, wrote out the dot. She typed out dot. So I just put, Okay, Shannon. When I was in middle school, as I say in the video, Stephanie did not grow up in San Jose with me. We never knew each other personally. She was someone I strictly knew online who lived states away from me. Emily tried in her video to state that the video was secretly about her, that I was setting a backstory up to one day say that she was actually Amy. And by simply calling her Amy, I was referencing her because according to her, I was trying to lay breadcrumbs online and trying to paint Emily as a malicious stalker. This is not the case and also very stupid. Well, Shannon, so are you. Allegedly. So I'm not going to take your word for what's stupid and what's not when you have a whole 112-page manifesto talking shit about some random person whose literal only association with you is being your now husband's ex and having triggering and like traumatizing moments with them. You think I'm gonna take your word on what's stupid, Shannon? You think in this economy I'm gonna take... Please spare me. But this goes along with Emily thinking things are about her or connected to her with no proof. For more, see part 12 and 13. We're gonna see fucking nothing, Shannon, because I'm exhausted. The video I put up, which is still up, has various details about Amy or Stephanie, whatever name you want to call her, that don't match with Emily. It would make no sense for me to say that Emily and I were friends online or ever, seeing as I never knew her outside of her being a friend of some friends and one of my boyfriend's exes from before I even had a crush on him. Me stating that she grew up states away would also not align with her being Emily, seeing as Emily went to school in California. In order to state that Emily is Amy, you would have had to not watch the video. Okay. Yeah. But also, whatever name you want to call her, you called her Amy. Shannon. You were like, I want to protect this person's identity by calling them Amy, even though they signed off their emails with Amy, because I'm stupid. Shannon. Moving on. Amy is the name I chose for the girl who harassed me because she and I would often talk about how we loved Amy Lee from Evanescence. I believe I say that in my video. You don't say where you got the name Amy from, but you do say that you called her Amy to protect her identity, which is also what you say in your community post. But then all the emails are signed off as Amy. Actually, funny story I would like to point out, right? Hold on, I just want to refresh her video real quick. Oh my god, wow, that's a terrible like to dislike ratio you got there. Not fun, cute, or quirky, you know. Something I would like to point out, when all of this came out, Shannon had stated that she was she was hacked, that her YouTube channel was hacked, right? She never posted any evidence of this, which when I was rewatching Ashley Lily, or well, now Ashley Lorraine's video, as she would prefer to be called, when I was rewatching Ashley's video, she talked about how Shannon would always post about how she would constantly get hacked, and she would show screenshots of notifications that she would get when people were trying to log into her accounts, which I saw because I once followed Shannon on Twitter, right? I followed her on Twitter and I was subscribed to her on YouTube, right? But she stated that she was hacked on YouTube by supposedly Amy, and there were 3 things that happened. Her profile picture was glitched out. Like, it had a picture of a glitch on it. Her banner also had a picture of a glitch on it. And all of her community posts were gone, besides the one that she had posted 7 months ago talking about pretending that we're stupid thinking that we would buy the story of her stalker spoofing her IP. That was the only community post that was available. But when I looked back like a bit ago, right, all of her old community posts are back. You know what? It's also funny because the second this is how we show screenshots in the modern day. Right, this is the community post where she talks about Amy, and she says that Amy is an alias because she wants to protect her identity, right? But then you got this one from 8 months ago that reads, "Standing with Camellia is the easiest thing to do, in my opinion. Feel free to donate if you can, my dudes." And then it's gone. The video isn't publicly available. Now, I don't know if it was a video by Camellia talking about the situation that she was in, or if it was a video by Shannon talking about Camellia's situation, because there were also a lot of videos from Shannon that were either privated or deleted. I'm pretty sure they were privated. And we know that because when you looked at her social blade, it showed that she was losing views. Which you don't lose views unless you're privating videos, Shannon. Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I have lost it? Not yet, ma'am. Not yet. Right? So now her silly little community posts are back up. I don't know how to community post. I'm not big enough for that. But I guess you can private community posts. And then she just decided to repost them all when she was suddenly not hacked anymore. Right? So over here, a couple of years back, I made a video talking about how I had been stalked for over 8 years by a woman I called Amy. That's not her real name because I was protecting her identity. Blah, blah, blah. No one cares. There you go. It was between that and Sarah. Going back to Shannon's original document, allegedly. It was between that, Amy, and Sarah because our mutual love of Sarah Brightman. But I chose Amy because Sarah sounds close to Shannon and I didn't want to confuse anyone. Again, I want to talk about the fact that the emails were signed. Hold on. My throat is a little sore from Shannon's bullshit. But I want to talk about the fact that the emails were once again signed off. Amy, like, love you, bunch of numbers, Amy. But I want to talk about again the fact that these emails were signed off Amy, right? If this person's name is Stephanie, why wouldn't the emails say Stephanie, right? And I was talking about this with my partner, and I was basically, like, no, babe, you don't understand. See, the thing is that Amy or Stephanie or Sarah or whatever we want to call her now, hacked time, spoofed time as a concept, went back in time, right? Because she knew that Shannon was going to make a video on this and call her Amy. So she spoofed the concept of time, went back and signed off those emails Amy, so that now in the present time, her identity would still be hidden, right? And people would not question this move whatsoever. Well, they would question it and it would make Shannon look bad, so that's why she did it, right? That's basically the only explanation I can come up with on Shannon's level, because the other explanation is like, oh, maybe she signed off these emails as Amy because she loves this person from Evanescence, right? But that wouldn't make any sense because in the following sentence, she talks about their mutual love of Sarah Brightman. So if she wanted to sign off as something other than Stephanie, why would she choose Amy? And then, like, why would Shannon choose Amy? You know? If she wanted to sign off as something else, she could have also signed off as Sarah, Amy, Pickled Juice, butt muncher 45, you know, like, if she wanted to sign off so badly as something that wasn't her real name, which again doesn't make any sense because Shannon is stating that her real name is Stephanie, so Shannon knows her real name, right? Why wouldn't she just choose something cooler? Again, they were in middle school when this all happened, right? Why wouldn't she sign off as something cooler? Like, there are much cooler things out there. Stardoll, baby 47, like, much cooler things, right? Especially in the early thousands. Like, Katy Perry's left whipped cream titty, like... That sounds more like something, like an account on, like, TikTok now, or, like, Stan Twitter, but still. Although, that did happen, like, what? I'm pretty sure that happened more in, like, late 2000s, because I remember that, and I'm an early 2000s baby. I was born in 03, so. So hot and sexy for that. Anyways. It had nothing to do with Emily. But she continually tries to state that things that have nothing to do with her are about her. She also states things in her video, like at any time she would get a message that says my guy, she would know it's me. Anytime someone says my dude in a comment, she would know it's me. Even though those are common phrases used by people specifically in California. She even goes so far as to say that I, at a certain point, realized that I used the phrases my dude and my guy in literally too much of my messages with her, so I left a comment saying that is stupid as a red herring. Listen, Shannon. I have also said phrases such as my dude and my guy before, but not to the extent that you do. And also, okay, fine, Shannon. Since you want it so badly, since you want it so much, I'll give you the benefit of doubt on that one. And say that maybe some of Emily's harassers also like to say my dude and my guy. Phrases that haven't been popular since the early 2010s, Shannon. Because the only time I had ever heard this nonsense was from you, Shannon. Granted, though, I don't live in California. I live in Florida. And I live in a very Hispanic part of it. So, the most common phrases I hear are like hacer and stuff like that. That's about it. Well, I mean, there's more. I just can't think of them off the top of my head, right? But, like, okay, Shannon, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that one because I really don't have the time of day to dissect any of that. Especially since we do have another section to get to. And I'm already on, like, 32 minutes of this one section. Right? No screenshots are shown. She just states that as fact, which is ridiculous. No, she doesn't, Shannon. She states that as her belief. I did none of this. And to attribute any of this to me without proof is insane. She does have proof, and it's circumstantial, which is more proof than you have, Shannon. If anything, you gave Emily more proof that you actually did do the things that she is claiming you did. It's important to note that two things can be true and not negate the other. Oh my fucking god, Shannon, you finally realized the fucking point. Because this whole time, you were saying that there is, like, no nuance in Emily's story, right? You were like, how could she be homeless if there were pink walls in the background? Therefore, no homeless. When she literally could have just, like, been visiting her dad. She could have just, like, taken a shit at her dad's house, taken a picture, and then, like, gone back to her car or wherever she was living, right? When she was without a home. Did you not think about that? Did you not think about that? Was that never a thought that occurred in your damn head, Shannon? Two things can be true at the exact same time. You are absolutely correct. Just like how Emily could take like a selfie at her dad's house, or she could just have posted an old selfie at her father's home and still be homeless. And she goes on to say, Emily and I could have gone through something similar, that being online harassment, and still not speak, get along, or any of that. Yes, you are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct, Shannon. You and Emily could have gotten harassed online and not like each other. No one is saying you guys have to like each other, but you are absolutely correct in saying that two things can be true at the exact same time and not negate the other. So then why didn't you apply it? Why was there no application? You were like, pink wall equal no homeless. You sound like people who are like, communism is one. No, I'm just gonna move on. I'm going to move on. Her trying to say that because she thinks I did this, I could have never been stalked, and then going on to invent a situation in which everything I produce is suddenly about her is incredibly gross and narcissistic behavior. Shannon, was this written by Gabby Hanna? Did you give this script to Gabby Hanna for that last sentence there? But also, you provide no evidence of getting harassed, Shannon. You provided... Shannon. I spent a whole 2 days watching your video, watching Emily's video, and then watching your Amy video, right? Shannon? Okay? I'm losing my damn mind. In the video you uploaded recently, your latest video, the proof you give just proves to what extent you were allegedly harassing and stalking Emily. Emily's video has circumstantial evidence that it could have been you and Anthony doing this, right? And in Emily's follow-up video, she also proves this point even more, right, with more evidence. And in your Amy video, you have no evidence, and you state that it's because you can't log into your high school email, or that you had like 500. I don't know, and I don't care. But there was no evidence provided in that, besides like a couple of sniffles here and there. That was it. There were no screenshots in that video. And the screenshots that you do provide in this video, which aren't in this document, but are in the final draft document and in the actual video, they don't prove your point, because in none of those is it harassing. It's just two cringy little middle school girls. And I'm willing to say, right, because some people are like, this could have just been Shannon this whole time and she's just doctoring these to make it look like they're from 2006. I'm willing to say that Shannon was actually talking to a real person when these emails happened, okay? I'm willing to be the naive and gullible person. People can call me stupid for that. I'm willing to be that. I am willing to give the benefit of the doubt to Shannon that she was actually talking to someone on AOL and saying these things to a real person. I am willing to say that all of these things happened. But those emails are signed to Amy, not Stephanie, not Sarah, not Buttmuncher47, not Katy Perry's left whipped cream titty. Like, that, and they're not harassing in nature. They're just cringy emails. And I still don't understand how you can log into an email from 2006, but you can log into your high school email, a more recent email address, or that you had like so many. You couldn't log into any of these, because in her video she states that you would be constantly like remaking new emails due to the harassment, but you couldn't prove that. You couldn't log into any one of those new emails that you created in high school because of this. That, and she states that she also received harassment on Tumblr. You couldn't log into your old Tumblr account or create a new Tumblr account to go view this old Tumblr account and see the messages and post those screenshots. You couldn't do any of that. And I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that when she saw those messages on Tumblr, she deleted them immediately. I'm willing to say that because I have also had like some experiences sprinkled in of like online harassment. And I deleted the comments immediately. Like, I mean, I did screenshot and then delete, but still, after that, I had deleted like a couple of them, but you know. So I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt on that. But again, like, Shannon, I'm trying real hard here. I'm trying real hard. You're gonna have to give me a little something, Shannon. Back to the document though. It's also genuinely weird. She's online stating I'm copying her life, lying to be like her when she has shown no proof of any lies. When she is posting about how she was homeless despite that never occurring. How are you going to tell Emily her own experiences, Shannon? Because you saw some pink walls. I got pretty, like, pinkish walls. Are you going to tell me that my whole life is a lie, Shannon? Moving on. That she had her hair dyed like mine for a long period of time despite that not being the case, and more. Okay, cool. It feels more like projection. Real, Shannon! That's real funny coming from you. But I'm an armchair diagnoser. I'll armchair diagnose you. I'm kidding. Side note, I do regret stating, quote-unquote, Amy/Stephanie had anything to do with this because the entire thing has shown me that other people have been obsessively monitoring me for a very long time. I eventually do plan on finding out the locale situation, however, clearly proving these allegations that I ever owned CP, child pornography, and married a rapist were false was more important. So are you gonna talk about the locale situation? No? Okay. Alright, Shannon. Moving on though. Part 10 is just the stupid IP address, which is literally just Shannon being fucking stupid and hurting my brain and insulting my intelligence. That was like page 76 and 77 out of this document. Now we're gonna go to page 110, which is where whatever section happens. I want to thank absolutely no one. Good for you, Shannon. Good for you. I want to thank you for killing my brain cells and thinking that I'm stupid. Tipster's a diseased hack who literally reached out to me for content that he disguised as an I'm here if you need to talk. That much is obvious given how hard his dick got when he realized he could monetize my response to him privately. Why reach out in earnest, feigning friendship when you can monetize your friend's downfall? Super appreciate how much thought you put into that though. Bet those views were worth it. Totally kidding. There is a reason everyone on YouTube surpasses you, and it's because your videos lack quality, insight, or anything worth commending. I'm gonna stop there. She does lay in more into Tipster, but I want to stop there. Tipster's a diseased hack. Cool, Shannon. I don't care. He never reached out for content, feigning friendship. He just said that if you could prove that these allegations were false, which is what you are trying to do now, that he would apologize and show your side of the story. That's all he did. He was being a good friend to you, Shannon. Especially when you told all your online friends to not support you through this. He was trying to support you if you were the person in the right in this situation. You clearly aren't, but still. He was trying to be a good friend to you, Shannon. That's what a genuine friend does. He was like, hey, bestie. I know that all your other friends abandoned you, rightfully so, because you were talking shit about them. But if you want to disprove what Emily stated and show me evidence to the contrary, I'm here for you. It wasn't feigning friendship. He wasn't trying to monetize your downfall. He was just reporting on the situation and saying, if you have any evidence to the contrary, I'd love to hear it. right? But also, Shannon, your videos also lack quality insight or anything worth commending. You barely researched your videos, and there are multiple videos discussing this problem with you. Your videos do lack quality. At some point, you were just getting other artists' videos to, like, talk over. And there was nothing worth commending about them. My left toe, Katy Perry's left whipped cream titty could make better videos than what you were doing, Shannon. Thank you though for the post that if Creepshow can prove she didn't do this, I will apologize. I'm waiting. Letting me know that I was taking too long to prove I never owned CP. I am so sorry that me proving that Emily was slandering me took too long for you. I am sorry that I wasn't able to make this video on a fun little time frame for you so you can add it to your 10 upload a day schedule. That must have been so hard for you that I wasn't able to hire a PI and find all of this information that proved my innocence in a day or two. I bet that really sucked that you just had to sit there, getting comment after comment describing how you should kill yourself for things that were completely fabricated. Oh wait, that didn't happen to you. You just sat there and talked about it happening to me, you old pal Shannon. Weird. And I know you're like, you old pal Shannon. Yeah, that's how she typed it, instead of being like, your old pal Shannon. But moving on, Tipster was never telling you, you have until this date to prove that Emily's claim is false. Tipster never said that. He said, I'm waiting for Shannon to prove these claims false. Those are two completely different statements, Shannon. I'm waiting for Shannon to disprove these things, and Shannon has until December 31st, 2021, before 2022 even starts, to kill my brain cells with her proof. Okay? That was it. Also, I am sorry you received death threats, Shannon. Sorry about that. No one should receive death threats, no matter how severe allegations are being leveled at them. That doesn't give you the right, though, to talk shit about people. That's what this whole section is, by the way. It's just her talking shit. But, yeah. I do not accept your apology. I will never accept your apology. I don't know where he apologized, but okay, cool. You are a terrible fucking person. So are you, Shannon, who I supported. So are you, Shannon. And I hope you fucking realize that money means a lot more to you than actually being friends with people and being decent. Anyone who has come out about Tipster has said that he is like a genuinely sweet person. So I don't understand that. But then again, I also don't watch Tipster. So yeah. He also says that he has like another, like, he has like an actual job outside of YouTube. So you say you're a journalist. He never said that. Everything I showed is public. Hell, Emily literally changed her story in front of you. Updating the story doesn't mean you're changing the story, Shannon. And had things on her Instagram that actively shows her lies. But you were too much of a crybaby to find it. Did you even pay attention to what she was saying in her video, or were you just excited for the dog pile? Shannon. Updating your story is not changing it at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't know that. But also her Instagram doesn't show any of her lies. I know I scrolled through the whole thing. I'll probably play the clip of me doing that. I scrolled through it. There's nothing. Like, I saw the post that Shannon was talking about, the whole, like, 3 years sober in November and whatnot. I don't know what happened to the Mario post. Maybe Emily deleted it, which, okay, cool. But that was it. That's it. Your Twitter at has you being called a journalist. Sure, man, I buy that. His Twitter at is Spanish Giorno. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Alright, anyways. Even bigger ups for not only sending people to harass my husband. He never sent people to harass your husband. He just found your husband's old YouTube account. Who didn't fucking rape anyone. Were you there, Shannon? Were you there? Were you in the pink wall, Shannon? Were you there? How do you know? How do you know, Shannon? Go on, Shannon. Tell me, without involving what Anthony has told you and without involving your stupid fucking little timeline that has since been disproven by Emily on Twitter. Go on, Shannon. Tell me. Tell me how you know. Tell me how you know, Shannon. Were you there? No? Oh, okay. That's what I thought. I never stalked anyone in his goddamn life. How would you know, Shannon? How would you know? Were you there with Anthony from the moment he came out of his mother's coochie to now? Were you there every single step of the way holding his little bitch boy hand? How do you know, Shannon? How do you know? As I proved, no, you didn't. But doing so yourself. Okay. Did those couple of likes make you feel like a real man with a big boy brain and not a spineless little coward who cries online like a pussy? You are a champion for that. So happy to have known someone who just gets his little shrimp cock hard for spreading false allegations. You're so fucking smart. Amber Heard would love you. I don't know what Amber Heard has to do with any of this. Fuck that bitch too. But this is also the second time Shannon talks about his fucking dick. I don't know what Shannon's obsession with Tipster's dick is, but okay, Shannon. Okay, like I have a partner, right? I got me a silly little man, and I don't talk about his dick this much. And we're together. I don't talk about his dick this much. What's up with Tipster's dick? What's up with Tipster's dick that you talk about it so much? And listen, I body shame shitty men for their, the size of their wiener. But not this much. God damn. Side note, you owe my husband the biggest apology. No one owes your husband shit. Your husband fucking sucks and he's a little pussy-ass bitch. And I'll tell him that to his fucking face. Go on. Shannon, if you're watching this, put the video to Anthony. You're a little fucking bitch boy. Suck my dick. Saying you would apologize to me for reporting on false allegations that were centered around him is like me tweeting that I would apologize to your wife for saying you murdered my entire family falsely. First of all, some of the allegations were also leveled against you, Shannon, but okay. And second of all, you're the public figure. You're the public figure in this whole situation. So if Tipster's going to apologize publicly, he's going to apologize to you. He is going to label the apology to you because you are the public figure, not Anthony, who's a little bitch boy. But again, some of the allegations were also leveled against you, especially the stalking and the harassment. Right? But that's just me. I fully did not expect you to realize that, given how stupid your statement was. So here I am telling you, Bessie, you didn't need to tell us anything. You owe my husband an apology. You owe your fans an apology, and mostly you owe the fucking world an apology for making such repetitive, lazy content that lacks inspiration or passion. Shannon, have you taken a look at your own channel? You literally posted daily with like repeated drawings. I had seen the same drawing like 2 or 3 times in different videos, and I thought I was literally watching. Oh, okay. Someone just replied to my story. But anyways, I had watched you make the exact same drawing in 2 or 3 other videos, and I was like, am I rewatching this video? And no, I wasn't rewatching any videos. I was watching the newest video you had pumped out. And yet here I was watching the same damn drawing. That, or you used other people's drawings for a bit there, for like exposure or something. I don't know anymore. But again, Tipster doesn't know your husband an apology. No one owes your husband an apology. Your husband owes us an apology. For one, allowing you to post this on the internet, and for two, being a terrible human being. That's what should exist. You really should be ashamed of yourself for simply persisting on this platform. No. Ashley Lorraine, as she likes to be called, leaked my phone number. No, she didn't. And potentially more to multiple people she was sending screenshots to. So thank you for that. No, she didn't. In her video, the number was never leaked. Shannon was never doxxed in Emily's video. Not to mention that the people that she was sending screenshots to were in a group chat with Shannon already before Shannon left the group chat because she's a little bitch. Allegedly. So those people already had Shannon's phone number. And I made the comparison about this to my partner, because my partner and I have been talking about this whole situation, mostly me, but we've been talking about this whole situation since it like broke out, because fun fact, this is one of the topics we talked about when we first were getting to know each other. We talked about this whole situation. So it's kind of cute and quirky that Shannon did this, you know, to ignite our passion for each other. I'm kidding, we didn't need Shannon for that. But moving on, right? I was talking about this with my partner. And my partner and my best friend do talk, like, they text each other on their, like, phone numbers, right? And I said that Shannon stating that, Ashley Lorraine, or well, Ashley, we'll just call her Ashley for now, that Ashley doxed Shannon's number to the people she was sending screenshots to is like me removing his like contact name, so it just shows his phone number, and sending screenshots of our text messages to my best friend who already has his phone number. That's what this sounds like. Moving on though. She is the reason I had to change my number. Big ups for her stating that I was lying about being homeless when I have literally never said this, when I have literally said the same thing every fucking time. I almost had a Freudian slip in there, and I was like, when I have literally never said the exact same thing. I almost had a Freudian slip there. Also, this segment is almost an hour long. God damn it. Moving on though. Right. Ashley in her video, which I'll also have linked down below. Need to make a note of that. I'll make it right now. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'll make it at some point. Just remind me on that. Remind me of that. If I don't. But in Ashley's video, she was comparing screenshots and stories of what Shannon had been saying this whole time. And none of them added up. Anyways, I never said I was thrown out or lived on the street. I stated I lived in my car because I had thousands in school debt from a school I didn't graduate from because I witnessed a rape. I was super straightforward with that, but apparently Ashley can be fucked to actually listen when her friend is talking to her. So glad I spent my emotional energy on you. Imagine being such a prick you don't even listen to what your friend tells you, then acting betrayed because of that. Ashley has since come out and talked about how Shannon lied to her when the whole Davi Vanity situation happened. If you don't know about that, basically Davi Vanity likes to fuck little kids, allegedly. And Ashley was one of his victims, or well, survivors. Ashley is one of his survivors. And she talked about this with a lot of people, including Shannon. And Shannon lied that like certain YouTubers such as Kendall Ray didn't want to take on the story because she was too busy. Kendall Ray has since come out and been like, that's not fact. I'll link a video down below from John My Opinions talking more about that. You really are a class act. So glad I said you could stay with me if you ever needed a place to go because you were freaking out. Have fun continuing to suck the tea of whoever else is going to give you the day. Are you going to cry now because turns out Emily was lying and I have proof? No, you don't, Shannon. Or let me guess, you are going to claim that I talked negatively about you on Lolcow, even though even Lolcow themselves said that that never happened. Yes, she wrote even though even Lolcow. Yes, she wrote that. But I'm pretty sure you were talking shit about her on Lolcow. Lolcow has never come out and said that those posts weren't from you, Shannon. In fact, they said the opposite. They said, we have her IP address and her cookies. So it is 100% definitely her. Also, I need to crack my back. But Robzilla, that tweet saying he doesn't know why I did that, such as change her number. Oh, hold on. I skipped a sentence. Thank you, Robzilla, for his tweet stating I changed my number as if he didn't know why I had to. Really love how that opened the door for some other scaly lizard. I don't know who the fuck the other scaly lizard is. To allegedly catfish others as me. Guess what? I didn't reach out to anyone. No one has my phone number because I don't trust any of you. Good for you, Shannon. But Robzilla, that tweet saying he doesn't know why I did that is gold, especially because of the fact that he went through this with Primink, something he never shuts up about. Literally, he never shuts up about Primink. But A+ work, my guy. I would say don't think too hard, but you clearly haven't. Neither have you, Shannon. And just massive thanks to everyone who promoted this falsehood. No, it isn't. That could be disproven if you scrolled back on her Instagram. I did that. Did you stop believing Emily? I don't think so. You're all amazing friends. I can't believe I gave a fuck about any of you, especially Petty Page, Dustin Daly, and the viewer's voice. I know what all of you did at that Drama Channel Christmas party a couple of years ago. I know who you did it to, and I would not utter another syllable in my direction if you knew what was good for you. That is to say, delete your videos and considering retiring. Yes, she wrote considering retiring instead of consider retiring. You provide the same terrible opinions based on nothing anyway. Now, I don't like any of the people that she talked about in that section. Petty Page, Justin Daly, and the viewer's voice, or Nick Snyder. I don't like any of those girls. I don't. But I don't think blackmailing them, Shannon, is going to get you very far. Especially legally, because that is a crime, Shannon. Anyways, side note, if any of you dumb motherfuckers who I gave money to want to send it back to me, want to send it back my way after making your videos talking about... saying you are horrified by my actions and always felt uncomfortable around me, do it. Talking to you, Nathan, Camellia, and Vangelica scoff. First of all, her name is Vangelina. And I know Camellia and Vangelina have come out with their videos talking about this. Vangelina never received any money from Shannon. And Camellia, going back to the community post, she came out with her video, right? Basically, the community post, I'm assuming this community post right here from 8 months ago, was because Camellia was getting sued by someone. So she set up a GoFundMe for people to donate money to her so that she could have money to pay her legal fees and stuff. That was it. Typically when people donate to a GoFundMe, unless it's a scam, they don't really expect to get their money back. So I don't know what that's about, Shannon, bestie bae, bestie homie, my dude, bestie. But anyways, moving on, right? Typically, GoFundMes, they don't give you your money back unless, again, it was a scam. Don't think Camellia was scamming anyone, though. Moving on, though, you are pathetic leeches who I helped, gave platforms to, and didn't ask for jack shit in return. But now you're asking for jack shit in return, okay? Namely because I thought we were genuinely friends. Vangelina talks about this in her video. She barely interacted with you. Camellia says in her video that she thought you guys were genuine friends, so. I even bought Nathan his computer. How stupid am I? And you literally took someone's word that I own CP with no evidence. I cannot believe I trusted you. I am the world's biggest idiot for that one. Nathan, if you guys don't know, is N-Bird. And he was friends with Shannon for like a year or so. They made like content together. And he became her editor. And I believe he talked about this, I believe he made a video and talked about this as well, that he paid half for said computer.
My hair, because I have been struggling to get this video out to you because my laptop doesn't want to recognize that there is more storage on it. But I do not want to talk about that. I want to keep this section brief so that hopefully I don't run into that problem again and I don't want to cry and I have work in like 4 hours, okay? And I'm running on like 5 hours of sleep. I am tearing up right now. But anyways, I just wanted to make this little clarification. Nathan has not made a video on this situation since it all occurred back in June. Where I found the information that he had paid for half of his laptop was on Homeboys Got Receipts channel, Edwin's channel, where he was going through this and he said that Nathan had paid for half of the computer. So not only did he pay for half of the computer that he has, that Shannon paid for the other half, but on top of that, either way, it's a business expense because he was her editor. So I just wanted to clear that up. It's not a video on his channel, it's a video on the Homeboys Got Receipts channel. Thank you all. That video is linked down below in case you want to fact check me.
Also, Skittles Juice, the girl who made my icon, you owe $500. I don't know why Shannon didn't put you owe me $500. I don't know why she didn't specify who Skittles Juice owes $500 to. Does she owe it to the universe? Is she like the like worldwide debt of like trillions of dollars, you know, like. But anyways, I commissioned you for a new channel avatar. I sent you $250 twice because you said you didn't get the first one. Okay, and you never fucking did the work. Give me my fucking $500, you fucking scam artist. Lots of words. Skittles Juice has since come out and talked more about the situation. And basically what happened is that Shannon had accidentally sent the first installment of $250 to some other person accidentally. And then Skittles Juice was like, hey, I never received the $250. So Shannon resent it and said, oh, I accidentally sent it to someone else. Skittles Juice posted evidence of all the payments that they had ever received, from Shannon, which were 120 and 250. The 120 were from the icon that she had made, the one with like Shannon and the candles, and then the 250 for this. And then Skittles Juice was like, yeah, so I was really booked up with commissions, so by the time I got to Shannon's commission, the whole situation had happened and she had left the internet, so I couldn't really talk to her. But Shannon, if you want like a refund or anything, if you want like a refund or like artwork, just find a way to contact me. Alright, so Skittles Juice is not a scam artist. We do have 4 more paragraphs to get to. We're almost there, buddies. It should also be noted, I was not posting on any social medias while putting this video together. Good for you. There have been multiple accounts both claiming to be me and multiple accounts that Emily has erroneously stated are me with no proof. In fact, if any person told Emily at a certain point they didn't believe her story, she would claim it's me or my husband. Don't think that ever happened, but okay. The only time I posted on social media was to tell Tipster to fuck up. Okay, bestie, we need to start learning English. Specifically because he commented on my husband's defunct YouTube channel because he's a spineless coward. Because he knows how to do research. Unlike someone. The day this video goes live, I will have sent a demand letter to Emily showing all the proof listed here and even more. Things I kept out of this document because they were either too sensitive or simply didn't fit in this video. this is the video part down, and it's 112 pages. I had a mental breakdown when I read this paragraph out loud to my partner. He had to hold me. I fell into his arms like putty, and he had to hold me and stroke my back because I couldn't. My brain fell out of my ass at that point, and I couldn't deal with this anymore. The demand letter is so we do not have to go to court for a defamation suit, something that I would obviously win. No, you wouldn't, Shannon. No, you wouldn't. But also in the final draft, Shannon states, this is Shannon's words. If you are seeing this video, it means one of two things has happened. Either, one, my lawyers negotiated with Emily Artful's lawyers, and we reached a private settlement, which resulted in some retraction. Or two, I took Emily to court for defamation and came out the other side. So, in one of the two scenarios presented, there was a defamation case that occurred. But yeah, here is Shannon stating that she doesn't want to take Emily to court for defamation, and that she would apparently win the case, even though defamation cases take longer than just a couple of months and are extremely hard to prove. Given that Emily states that she would lose a court case in her own video and her lawyers told her not to pursue this. See, the funny quirky thing is, Shannon, is that Emily never stated that she would lose a court case against you. Emily stated that the legal advice that she was given was not to pursue this because of how long and strenuous stalking/harassment cases take, especially online ones, because the courts simply don't care. Unless you are in active danger or you're dead, the courts couldn't give a singular fuck what is going on. They don't. Which is why Emily's lawyers and PIs and the police and everyone and their mothers said, don't take this to court. Not because she would lose, but because it's going to be a long and strenuous battle that Emily does not have the time or money for, seeing as she is raising 2 children currently. Moving on. If she doesn't respond to the demand letter, or if she chooses to continue this online, my husband and I will be suing her for defamation and slander, seeing as she said her stalker is 100% me and my husband with no evidence. First of all, she never said 100%. And second of all, she does provide evidence, circumstantial, but she does provide it. And I would like to say this. I'm not making a comparison between the two. I am just saying that I'm pretty sure everyone knows about the Lacey Peterson, right? Her name is Lacey Peterson, right? Yeah, the Lacey Peterson and Scott Peterson thing. If you don't know, basically Lacey Peterson was the wife of Scott Peterson, and she was currently 8 months pregnant at the time of her disappearance, and then subsequently we found her body. She was dead. There is no concrete evidence to prove that Scott Peterson did this to his wife. There is no concrete proof to show that Scott Peterson killed his pregnant wife. However, he is still behind bars because of the circumstantial evidence that was found and the dots that people connected to say that it was him. So, circumstantial evidence is evidence. Bestie, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Said I at some point owned child porn and said my husband raped her, only for me to use her own words to prove none of that happened. First of all, you never proved that you didn't own CP, but then again, you can't disprove a negative, right? Like, you can't prove a negative. You can't prove that something didn't happen. However, the thing with the CP was that Emily stated that her Facebook was phished, right? They had switched out the account info so she can't log into it. And whoever phished that account had to put pictures of her when she was a minor and nude and pictures of her camming into a photo bucket account. So whoever phished her account and did that is the one who has CP. She never said that that was Shannon and or Anthony. She just said that someone phished her account. And with the email that they phished that account, sent her an email basically being like, I have to do this. I don't want to do this, but I have to. And they have nudes of her on a photo bucket account, which was then logged back into on January 3rd. So 3 days after this video went live, after Shannon's video went live. That's what happened with that's the CP claims. So Shannon, I think you're just showing your ass on this one and saying that you do have access to this photo bucket account with Emily Artful's nudes on it, some of which when she was a minor. On top of that, in Shannon's video, she talks about this. She basically says that photo bucket has rules against nudity. So does YouTube, but yet there are videos of naked yoga on the platform. YouTube also has rules against nudity, which you have talked about, Shannon, because you have said that one of your videos got demonetized because of a suggestive thumbnail. I remember when you talked about that video. All right, I believe it was in relation to an Elysium situation where they had taken one of your videos down, or they had demonetized it because of a suggestive thumbnail, but yet they hadn't removed one of his videos that also has a suggestive thumbnail. YouTube also has rules against nudity, but yet we do have nude yoga on this platform. There are people nude on that on YouTube, and on top of that, one of your points was how Emily had a nude or half nude video on this platform and she got harassed for it. It doesn't matter if a platform has rules against nudity or not, because nudity still occurs on said platform. Also, you didn't disprove that Anthony didn't rape her. You're just saying Anthony didn't rape her because the Lord of Truth, Anthony, said he didn't rape her. She also went further on Twitter to say her evidence is concrete. She never said her evidence is concrete, and you actually put the screenshot of that in this video where she says her evidence is circumstantial. And I believe you also say it somewhere over here as well. But Emily never stated her evidence was concrete. She has always stuck to her guns in the video and on Twitter, saying that her evidence is circumstantial. Because I quote unquote deleted videos despite the fact that all of those videos are saved and have no evidence on them. Something I can prove in court. I can also prove that the videos were never deleted, rather I was being privacy stricken for months before any of this happened. She doesn't post the proof of her being privacy stricken on here, or privacy struck, or whatever. I guess she's waiting to be taken to court to prove that. But the videos that were privated, none of them have like private info that anyone would take down. How she talks about in her video, she talks about this one video that she had privated, which was like her 5th video on her channel, she states, of like the people using her art for like tattoos and stuff, which she privated herself months before the situation ever happened. And then there were many videos, as people were seeing, that were being privated by her. I believe one of them was also the Amy video, and I know that this happened because I talked about it in my original video, which you can watch either by clicking over here or, well, no, I already did that before, so, but you can watch down below. It's also another 2-hour video. You're welcome! But anyways, so those videos were getting privacy stricken now. Cool, Shannon, cool. Maybe stick to telling the truth. With that, I am done. If you've made it this far, that's hilarious. Thank you, Shannon. Me and the DVD look go up here. Thank you for that. But yeah, I already gave my thoughts on this throughout, so I'm just gonna move into the final section, and I'm sorry. Let's just get into my final thoughts, because I'm exhausted. That's it. That's the tea. Those are my final thoughts. This whole video just proves the extent to which Shannon allegedly stalked Emily. She went back to posts from 2005 when Emily was a child, trying to come up with a timeline for Emily's life when she was a child. And if anything, all of this just proves is that Emily just has like a shaky retelling of her own life and like a shaky memory of it because she was on drugs. It makes sense, right? But that's it. That's all I got. I hope you guys have a good day. If you like this video, give it a like. If you think my retelling of this whole saga made any sense, leave me a comment down below with your thoughts, your vibes. How's your day going? I hope it's going well. I hope you have a good day. And you can subscribe to the channel so you can see me having mental breakdowns over capitalism and the internet. Sometimes though, maybe I'll post like a quirky little like vlog or something. Who knows? But yeah. That's all I got. I'm tired. Probably gonna eat some lunch or something. Figure my life out. Do some homework. I think I'm done filming for the day because this part of my body hurts. And I don't think that's healthy, and I think it's because I've been talking for 2 hours straight. So, I hope you guys have a good day. Shannon, have the day you deserve, and I'll see you guys next time. Everyone's